Big news. I have some important news for you.
Interesting news.
It's Blake and Darren's Spilling the Tea with Sandy.
Cayman's top news headlines of the day from CMR.
Fiddle. Good morning, Sandy. Happy Monday.
Good morning, Blake. How are you?
Good.
Hello.
Aaron is good as well.
Oh my gosh.
What's up this Monday morning?
Well, a bit
Is
of big
Spot
news.
still alive?
Yeah, did we find
Well,
out
you know
about
what? She's finally on her social media.
Oh,
Breaking
that's good
this
news.
morning, Yes.
Okay.
Her social media finally has a post up about some music or something. So over the weekend, it came out that she had emerged from some sort of a coma, despite her booking agent claiming that she wasn't in a coma. But
Wow.
she had emerged and she was awake. And then by this morning, into the wee hours, I noticed after 12 o'clock, they were sending out breaking things that said her account was finally utilized. So I guess she manages her own account. It's kind of surprising though. Like, I don't know how many followers she has because I don't follow her. But I would have thought she probably would have had a management team doing that stuff.
Mhm.
It looks like she probably still has pretty tight controls on her social media account. So she has posted something now, which makes people think that she's at least able to authorize or to do a post herself.
Okay.
All
Well,
right.
that's good news.
Yeah. So we wish her continued health. Last week we mentioned that Cabinet has approved the bills for a digital ID. It's coming that every person in the Cayman Islands will finally have a formal ID, including work permit holders, Caymanians, the works, and it's going to be tied into all sorts of other systems, including immigration, for example. And so the good news is they're going to come on Wednesday's program and they're going to be talking about this and explaining it a bit more. So tune in. It's a lot to take in. So I would invite people to tune in then if they're really curious about how this is going to work as they start to roll it out a bit.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Caymanian Chad Powell addresses the UK Youth Parliament. So congratulations to this young man. He was making the news over the weekend. So he addressed the UK Youth Parliament and Speaker of the House of Commons, Sir Lindsay Hoyle, last week, and he gave a fabulous presentation. You guys can go check it out. We've got the video on our website. And so wonderful to see a young man really representing me as well. Chad said during his speech that he loves the Cayman Islands and he tends to live and grow old here one day, but immensely, he talked about the high cost of living, disastrous housing crises, has called many people, in particular in his age group, to not only consider, but pretty much say that they're going to move away. So it's kind of interesting though, because, you know, over the weekend, I was talking to a friend from Canada. I haven't spoken to him in a while. And he was talking about the exact same thing. Like, honestly, if he didn't say that he was in Canada, I would have thought that he was in the Cayman Islands about the cost of living. And, you know, he's like, we can't find anything for less than $400,000 or $500,000.
Mhm.
He said, what university graduate is going to qualify? I mean, it sounded the exact same complaints that we have here. I was like, wait a minute, did you move back to Cayman? Are you sure you're not here? So one of the things that we're going to do on this program, just to give people perspective about what we can control here and what we can't control here, is we're going to start interviewing people from all over the world. So I've got someone lined up from the UK. I've got someone lined up from Canada, and anybody else anywhere else in the world who wants to talk to us about their issues. Let's do it. So Scammer, what's his first name again? Duncan. Hold on one second. Garth Christopher Duncan has now allegedly left the Cayman Islands last night on the flight to Jamaica. This is after this dude has been scamming people for years. He has had the best luck of all scammers that I've seen here in this jurisdiction. No criminal charges. Every time somebody would lodge a complaint with the RCIPS, they were told it's a civil matter. In one instance, one victim claims to have lost over $76,000 from him, whilst putting him through law school at the same time, which is crazy. And then other victims have lost, you know, smaller amounts. So we're going to break down some of that about Garth Duncan. But the good news is it looks like he won't be scamming anybody else here.
So
And
he didn't break any laws? Is that what they were saying?
Well, that's the $1 million question.
That's weird.
How do you know that he was on a flight last night?
I got people.
Okay. I thought you meant that he got officially deported. So is
Nah.
he?
Well, he had an order. No, CBC had put a order for him to leave, and he had until the 14th. But
Okay.
our sources said
So he's not coming back.
hopefully not. I mean, hopefully that order includes a do not return in the system as well. But it kind of all culminated on Friday when he was recorded by a leasing agent. And that kind of went viral on social media because he was living in this house and hadn't paid the respective rent that he was supposed to pay.
He was
And,
squatting.
yeah. And then he kept giving excuses like, oh, sorry, I put the wrong account number. Oh, sorry, I put the wrong name. Like he kept purposely doing that. But anyway, we'll break it down. And then it's crazy.
What was his job? Did he have a job here?
No.
Yeah, he's a scammer.
It's
Well,
just,
no, but how do you?
his professional job apparently was being
without a
scammed.
job? Like without a work permit?
Yeah.
Good question.
And then
that's a lot.
DJ Renato Harris was in court on Friday for closing arguments in his matter. He's being accused. He's being accused of raping a young lady twice in the space of hours. And so his attorney, as well as the prosecution, laid out their case in summary in the form of closing arguments. And now the judge will take 3 weeks to consider all the information that has been put before her and render a written decision in this matter. So it's quite shocking. We're going to dig into that into this morning show as well. It's it's unbelievable. So
what was from somebody sitting in the courtroom? Obviously, there's no jury. It was a bench trial.
Yeah.
What's your opinion?
Guilty.
Wow. And what sentence does that carry?
2 counts of rape. He could be looking at in excess of 10 years for sure.
Wow.
Yeah, still not long enough. I don't think.
I know.
Wow.
I know. These things should be closer to life sentences, really.
Yeah.
And hopefully a deportation order. But it's very sad facts that have come out of this case. And his defense is using the word weak would be an understatement. But we'll talk about some of those details this morning as well.
All right, catch Sandy on Bobo 89.1 FM. And Sandy, we'll see you tomorrow on KISS for Tuesday headlines. All right.
Wonderful thing.
Seymour brought to you.
All right, folks. So we are going to kick off the show this morning. Hopefully we are good. I double checked everything before we went live today on radio and the works. Well, I can't double check it on radio because we're not live. Well, we're live now. But anyway, I just checked all of my mic settings. So I think we're good. So let's go ahead and kick it off. Happy Monday, everybody.
Peppermint, sorrel, ginger, fever grass, or English. Get it ready. Your morning tea just got hotter.
Ooh, honey child.
On the cold, hard truth. Bobo 89.1 and Cayman's #1 talk show are bringing you morning talk like no one else. Monday Rewind, Impact Wednesdays, Caribbean Connections, and much more. Don't miss a beat with what's happening in the local community. Just keep sipping your tea.
What a mess.
Here's your host, live and direct from the Cayman Islands, Sandy Hill.
All right. Good morning, folks. Happy Monday. How are you guys doing? Hope that you are well, bright and early, bushy-tailed. We are here live and direct in the studio. Let me remind you of the telephone number. We got a lot to cover today, in fact. So let us get this show on the road. 936 Bobo is the telephone number. 936-2626. Let me turn on the Bluetooth on our phone. Last night, after I scheduled the show, I went in, I double-checked all my mic settings. I feel like I really need to do this every morning since I've got a ghost in my studio that's constantly changing things around. So we, I think we're good. I think we're good this morning. So good. All right. So we have a lot to cover. Oh my gosh. Weekends, I feel like they're just getting busier and busier. And so much happened since we last had an opportunity to meet on Friday. So we are here to get this train on the road. So let me just see here now. Just sending out all of my notifications. We've got the WhatsApp hotline where people get all the notices. All right, so let's talk about a few things that happen. Somebody's sending me something. I don't know. When I ask for somebody to confirm something, sometimes I don't think that they they don't realize that I'm on air now. So, all right. Well, if that's the account number, anyway, trying to make a little donation for someone this morning and their water bill, but seem to be having some difficulties getting it to go through. I don't know if it's an issue with. I mean, CNB has been pretty good lately, but I keep getting an error message. Is anybody else having an issue with CNB online? I tried it on the website, I tried it for my phone, and it's just not working. I'm trying to do a bank transfer from one bank to another bank, and it just keeps giving me an error message. Anyway, I guess I can call CNB this morning and see if they're having any issues. Sometimes I find that CNB in the evening hours, they must be doing their backups or whatever, because you can't get through during certain hours. And it would really be useful, CNB, y'all listening this morning. Now, y'all know I love you as a bank, but it doesn't mean that you're perfect. And it doesn't mean that you're without need for some improvements. So this is an IT suggestion. If it's the case that you're doing your nightly backups, which I understand how these things work, there's a lot of banking data that happens during the day. And of course, daily backups are, I'm sure, an absolute requirement. Can you please have a message on the systems? Don't just give a generic error message. Actually have a message on the system that says you cannot do any transactions at the moment because we are in the process of backing up. And then once that backup is completed, the message should automatically go away. You know, are these things that difficult? Like, I'm not quite sure I understand the difficulty in it, but you know, come on now. This is the 21st century that we're living in. I expect certain things, and I'm so glad that they finally redid online banking because it is a lot better. But I find in terms of stability, sometimes it's still a bit hit or miss. Like, I'm still getting too many error messages and not really understanding why I'm getting an error message, you know? And it's kind of a pain, quite frankly. So it seems like sometimes you can do like interbank transfers without a problem, but if you're trying to do something across banks, that's when you're going to get this error message. So CNB, I'll try it again after the show, but you know, y'all work something out now. Start thinking ahead on some of these issues. And there's another problem that it does. I think it might actually be tied into the same issue that I'm describing, where it kicks you out of, like, you're trying to do the online transaction and you go through everything, you put in the account number, the name, you do everything, and then you get a timeout error message. And to be honest, there's zero reason why you should get a timeout message. It's like, it's 2 seconds into the transaction. How is that timing out? But I think it's because their system on the back end is doing some sort of an update. They're not telling anybody, and then it's driving you crazy with these messages. All right. Good morning to Miss Vernita. Miss Barbara is here. Cayman Detailing. So nice to see you. Remember that person on Friday who was here with the fake account and claiming to be a civil servant? Yes, we ended up blocking them. I'm going to tell you why. It seems like one of the reasons why I couldn't find them during the show, although they were making live comments, Facebook had already blocked them based on something that they saw, like their very first comment out of the barn, which I thought was interesting. Facebook hid that comment. So in the live, I was still seeing comments, but because Facebook already had hid their comments, and this is a weird glitch in our system, obviously, but I couldn't actually see them on the Facebook live. So when I went back and I saw the initial hidden comment, I was then able to deal with them accordingly. So I looked at their profile because, listen, I know a lot of civil servants, and they will tell me, they'll be like, Sandy, this is actually me, but I have what's called a burner account because as civil servants, they don't feel like they can be free and they can talk, et cetera, et cetera. There's a difference between someone who's genuinely a civil servant and who wants to have a voice on this platform and comment versus someone who's just here to try to troll the platform and put in all these shady comments and think that nobody's going to know who they are. I would say tread carefully because there's always a way for people to find out who you are. Every time you use a computer or device, it has a MAC address that can be traced by the right people. And the ultimate thing that made this person get blocked, it wasn't anything specifically that they said on Friday, although I had a feeling the type of account that it was, is that they actually went on their this fake page that they created and posted a comment about I must just leave them alone or some foolishness. And then they talked about where I lived. Listen, on a good day, don't mess with me with that kind of stuff, right? Because you have no idea the grounds that you are treading on. And I don't appreciate someone trying to put my personal information out like that. And what exactly is it that you're trying to say? What sort of thinly veiled threat do you think that this is? Like I said, don't mess with me on a good day, because the day my mind takes me, y'all gonna see how this gonna really go down. Okay. So that was the ultimate reason why they were blocked and actually reported to Facebook as well. So hopefully Facebook will do something about that fake account entirely. Y'all need to get your shit together, to be quite frank and honest. Good morning. It's Monday. Let me try to just have my tea. Got some hot stuff coming here this morning. You know, some days you just feel like you're fed up. Whew, I'm fed up a lot, and I just kind of keep it under wraps, more so than you guys think. I just smile and sip on my tea. But today isn't necessarily going to be one of those days. There are days when you just need a dose of the cold hard truth. Good morning, talk what you know. Says morning, CMR fam. Suji, good morning to you. So nice to see you here as always. Wee Wee's got it locked. Miss June says, good morning, guys. Happy Monday. Miriam is here. Everyone is doing well. Yes, honey child. We are good this morning. We're going to get it. Suji says, I have a suggestion. Kindly try and get the police chief on your program and ask him questions which are bugging the community and are close to our hearts. Well, Suji, we're going to come back to that. Just hold that question for me, because we're going to talk about him and others who we've been trying in earnest to get on the platform. But it seems like we are pulling teeth and the tooth just don't want to come out. We'll send this to him and his team again for the umpteenth time. They don't seem to understand that people would like to hear directly from them. Sir, Mr. Sujit, I will send it to him. Trust me. Alice, good morning. Talk what you know wants to know if Renato has status. That's a good question. And in my mind, whether he has status or not, that now needs to be forthwith stripped from him if and when he is convicted. It's a crazy situation, but we're going to talk about his case in a second here as well. Have all these anchor babies. I wouldn't be surprised, because I know that he's had a few, child. Miss Beulah, good morning to you. Pamela is here, so nice to see you. Suzette, good morning. Miss Bonnie, joining us from East End. Evelyn says, good morning from the beautiful island of Jamaica. Girl, you're just traveling all over the place. I wish I had your life. I need to travel more. Jamrock in the house. Melita is here. Got it locked with her 2 cups of coffee. Good morning, Brother Tommy, joining us from Bermuda. So nice to see you. Olivia. Maria is watching. Remind me, Maria, where are you watching from? Janetta is here. Ooh, Janetta's got a smile on her face. Hello, Janetta. Mark says, Cayman, buckle up. Let's get it. Chantal. All right, folks. Good morning, one, and good morning, all. And of course, good morning to all of our beautiful listeners on Bobo 89.1 FM. So it was an interesting weekend. Let me get the niceties out of the way before we go in for the hardcore stuff. Yesterday, I had an interview with Miss, hold on a second now. Let me get her proper name. She was such a charm to interview on her birthday. Yesterday, she was 90 years old. I believe the first name is Olita Solomon. Let me just confirm that that's the first name. The first name is tripping me up just a little bit here in terms of my memory. But she was such a delight. And I was just tickled pink to have had the opportunity to go and sit with her. Miss Quelda, my apologies. Oh, Olita, I was kind of close. I had a couple letters in there. Miss Quelda Solomon is her name. And had a really nice interview with her on her 90th birthday. I understand that her family had a really special evening planned for her. So Miss Quelda, I'm trusting that you enjoyed the rest of your birthday. But she sat down with me and we did a little bit of a Cayman Voices segment. Her story is so interesting. I'm hoping that maybe by next week we'll air her interview. It's a shorter interview because, you know, at 90, I can't expect the woman to sit down for an entire hour with me. But she still did really well. And she told us a little bit about her life. And it's so interesting when they talk about how difficult their lives were back in the day. And literally, having one outfit and, having to wash that and having a father that died. She was born 2 days before the 1932 hurricane that hit the Brac, and she's from the Brac. And someone else who's related to her said that they remember growing up in the family and hearing these stories of how I think it was her grandfather. I'll have to listen to the message again, but somebody in the family, her mother had her wrapped in a blanket. She was a newborn, and they were telling her, just let the blanket go. Just let the blanket go. And you know what that means? If the baby's wrapped in the blanket, the baby's going to die in the storm, because the storm had come all the way up to where they were living, and they were trying to swim for their dear lives. And the mother was told by another family member, a man, of course, to just let the baby go. And she couldn't do it. She's like, no. And she held on to that blanket with that baby in it, a 2-day-old baby, for her dear life. And look at Miss Quelda, now 90 years old. And she talked about how much she loved her mother and how close she was. I was like, no wonder your mother really put her life and maybe everybody else's life on the line to save you. It's just such an amazing story. And although Miss Quelda couldn't remember all the details herself, other people were able to fill in some of it for me. So she had a total of, she was one of 15 children. So her mother, with her first husband, who died, like I said, I think it sounds like he died during the storm based on what Ms. Quelda was saying, that he died, when the storm hit. And she said, she never knew her dad as a result of that. But her mom had 5 children with him. Then she remarried and had 10 children with her second husband. And there's 3 brothers that are remaining and Miss Quelda. So such a fascinating story of hardship, and yet still being here at the age of 90 and having overcome. Yeah, beautiful story. So you guys stay tuned for that. So, which story do I want to start with? Let's start with the Renato Harris story, since that occurred first in sequential order. What can I tell you about this? I was here Friday after the show, and I was on the computer doing a few things, and I had this little thing in my head, said, oh, Sandy, message the Grand Court. She's like kind of in charge of the listing, Miss Suzette, for the Grand Court. Just message her and see when this case is going to be back on, because it was supposed to restart on the 26th of last month, but it was postponed because of the one with the police officer. So I sent her a quick email, and she said he's back in court today. I was like, oh, Lord, have mercy. Let me jump up and get going. So I did just that, jumped up, ran out the door. But you said, oh, that's my Aunt Claudia. She's had a rough, tough life. Yeah, but yet so incredibly positive and so wonderful. So anyway, when I got there, I then realized that it wasn't on until 2:00 in the afternoon. So I said, ooh, good. Hadn't missed anything, because I really wanted to hear the closing arguments. Because, sometimes if you miss bits and pieces of like witness statements, like the closing arguments kind of pulls it all together. Both attorneys get to focus on, what their key points are. You hear a recapping of all of the evidence and so on. And so I definitely wanted to be there for that. Well, it's a good thing I was there, honey chill. Because I walked away in my mind feeling even more convinced that this man had done all of the things that he was accused of doing. Now, I can say that because thankfully this is not a jury trial. If it was a jury trial, we would obviously have been restricted in what we could say. Because once the jury, and I'm going to explain to you guys a little bit of how the two jury versus judge trial works, just for your own benefit, right? So during jury trials, We are very, very careful what we say on this platform because we don't ever want it's happened once before. And as I say, you live and learn, and it's never going to happen again. They had to reset a trial because the defendant claimed, although she was guilty as sin, robbing places, she claimed that because we discussed it on the show, that, we provided commentary instead of just a factual thing and people were commenting. And it's impossible for me to talk about things like this and tell you, the audience, that you can't comment on it in the comment section. So the judge said, yeah, maybe she had a point. They wanted, I think what they wanted was an absolutely safe conviction so that there was no room for appeal. So they vacated the date and they set the date all over again. Now, she was one of the most difficult defendants that I've seen. She kept firing lawyers, kept trying to tell her lawyers how to do their job, which is quite interesting, especially since she's not a lawyer. Every 2 minutes, she'd be calling them over. I want you to say this. And there's certain things that a lawyer has to advise you on in terms of what's acceptable in court and what isn't. Just like Renato, I noticed that at the end, after his lawyer was finished with his closing arguments, he called him over. And Keith Myers, I could hear him say, no, we can't say that to the court. So the lawyers are supposed to know the law and the procedures and guide their clients accordingly. The client isn't the one who's running the show. So anyway, if it's a jury trial, we oftentimes will just report the facts in a story, and we have no commentary in this show about it. This was not one of those cases. In fact, it was supposed to be a jury trial, and at the last minute, he vacated the jury. So they already had called the jury, and he changed his mind. And defendants have the choice in this jurisdiction still, whether or not it's going to be a judge alone or a jury. Juries are unpredictable, folks. You cannot tell. Even in the face of overwhelming evidence, sometimes they let people walk. And I literally dropped down in court like, what the hell? Did they hear the same case that I heard? Some of them, I don't even think they want to be there. In the US, after a jury trial, jurors oftentimes give interviews to media, and you're able to ascertain exactly what happened in the deliberation room. They tell you, oh, there's one person who was a holdout. They don't necessarily give you names, but sometimes they do. They'll say jury number 5, and everybody can figure out who jury number 5 is. And they'll tell you that, oh, this person was a holdout, or, 3 jurors couldn't be convinced of the person's guilt, and that's why we had a hung jury. They talk about it. In this jurisdiction, that just does not happen. It just doesn't happen. So at the end of the day, sorry, it is really, really interesting that jurors walk away with leaving some of us in court just dumbfounded as to what? How did that happen? You said what? You did what? I don't understand it. But it is how the process works here, I guess. I don't think there's anything necessarily stopping them from sharing that information. It's just that they don't. And maybe there's never been a media house that's ever approached them about, why did you make that decision? Maybe we'll change that. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, his trial is now judge alone. So there was closing arguments on Friday afternoon. Prosecution goes first, and they laid out what I would say is a very compelling case in terms of what the evidence is. Well, what did they say? Okay, let's break it down. They said, amongst other things, that the evidence, that really this was a matter of, my apologies. This really is a matter of, who you're going to believe, like who is more credible. And so there's 2 counts of alleged rape in this situation. And their focus, the prosecution's name, oh my goodness, I've got a frog in my throat. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can eradicate this frog. I'm going to take an allergy tablet this morning. So the prosecution, Crown Counsel Sarah Lewis, said that, you know, this is a question of consent. So a lot of her points focus on whether or not the victim had given her consent. So the allegations are that on July 14th of 2018, these two individuals met up at O-Bar where he was DJing that evening. And whilst at O-Bar, he, you know, made some moves on her, I guess, and took her, eventually took her to his place. First, she'd requested food, like she wanted food. And then she'd even said that she had said she wanted to go to Hell in West Bay. At no point in time did they talk about going to his house or agree about going to his house. But what he did, supposedly en route, this is the prosecution's case, to take her where she wanted to go. I guess when you're drunk, you know, you do odd things like, oh, I just want to go and hang out outside kind of thing at Hell or whatever. You know, en route, he said, oh, I need to check on my son who's home alone. I've got a teenage son and he's home alone, so I need to stop at my house. It's interesting that this was the ploy, according to the prosecution, that got her to go to his house. And basically she stepped inside and then she blacked out. She doesn't remember anything after that point until when she woke up in the morning naked in this man's bed. The prosecution said, listen, this was not a woman who had any intentions of spending the night with him. There was nothing that should have led him to that conclusion. And she went through all the evidence, how he claims that when they went for the burger sometime before, that, you know, she had kissed him. And you know, it's just, his defense is beyond weak is what I would say, because if you get a kiss, which he wanted it to sound like it was just passionate make-out session, right? I highly doubt that was the case. He probably just went in for a kiss, and, you know, her evidence, it seems like, is she wasn't really into him at all, despite what he thinks, because his defense attorney said that this girl was obsessed with him. She wanted it. She wanted him. And apparently all women want him because he's a local DJ and he's a celebrity and he's popular and whatever. Y'all need to get a clue. That's his case. And so it's very, very interesting that he brought that up. Oh, an hour and a half or 2 hours before I raped her, you know, we had a kiss. That does not amount to consent, folks. Consent is like in the moment. Even if in the moment they were making out, she said, no, I want you to stop. You have to stop, because then if you do not stop, it becomes rape. So of course the defense tried to lay out this story that wanted to paint a very different picture of the victim. He claims that she was sober, and the prosecution said sober? After she'd been out drinking for 6 hours, she had gone to at least 2 or 3 different bars, and she was mixing drinks, which, oh girl, I don't know why any person would do that. But, you know, she had, I don't know, vodka, cranberries, and then was mixing it with other stuff. And I don't drink, as y'all know. But one thing I do know is if you start mixing liquor, hard liquor, wine, soft liquor, you're going to be drunk really quickly, and it's going to hit you out of nowhere, and you're going to be a slobby mess. And apparently that's exactly what happened with this young lady. And I think Renato Harris, being a person who spent a lot of time in bars, could see this coming. These DJs, I'm telling you, people, listen very carefully to me. When you go out drinking at night, they're not the ones that you want to trust in the bar. A lot of them have experience of taking advantage of women under these types of circumstances. And they can look in a crowd and see who is easy prey, who's had one too many drinks. And yeah, you've got that situation on your hands. So anyway, as it turns out, he ends up telling her he needs to check on her son. She leaves her phone in the car because she didn't intend to stay, and walked inside, blacks out, and doesn't remember anything else. He admits having sex with her. His version of the story, I saw him take the stand. I was the only media house there watching him take the stand. He couldn't keep his story straight. His story was all over the place. But his version of the story is they went inside and they started making out on his bed and he pulled up her dress. Well, he obviously didn't want to pull up her dress because she woke up, she was completely naked in his bed. She was horrified, was the term that she used, because according to her, his place was filthy. She said she felt like it was, listen to how she described this. I mean, this paints a picture. And as someone who's a germaphobe myself, I've got to tell you that there's some people that you are turned off by them by the way in which they keep their environment. You know, even if they can dress up and take a bath and put on a little bit of cologne and they look okay, if they take you to their house, that could be the turn off. Even if you had intentions of engaging with them in any way, that could be the immediate turn off because they just so nasty. And I'm one of those people where things irk me really, really easily when it comes to the cleanliness of your home as a man. Dirty sheets and dirty bathrooms, all this kind. I'm like, no, you take off those shoes and those shoes look ugly. Those toes look ugly and dirty. I'm like, ooh, you see the stuff that isn't obvious to the public. You don't take the time to clean and keep manicured. And that says a lot about your personal hygiene. This young lady sounds like she was kind of one of those people too. She was horrified, was the term that she used. And she went on to say that it looked like it was a rat infested house. Wow. The visual for that is pretty disgusting, if you ask me. When she woke up, she said, what happened? You know, did you have unprotected sex with me? And you got to keep in mind that I'm sure she didn't know where she was when she woke up. She's trying to piece together, okay, I'm naked in this guy's bed. They were very casual people. I think they'd exchanged numbers on a previous occasion, would occasionally see each other out at the bar and nightclub or whatever. And that was the extent of it. They hadn't gone on any dates. They weren't hanging out. There was no, you know what I'm saying? There was no relationship building here. She's like, why am I in your bed naked? Did you actually have unprotected sex with me? Like, one of the reasons why she was so concerned about that in particular is she was a student, a foreign student in this country who was focused on a professional career. And the court has put a bit of an order in place where I can't tell you where she went to school, but let's just say that it's a profession that's like a well-respected profession. And you can't be getting pregnant in the middle of going to certain schools because you would automatically be kicked out of the program and it would disrupt your life. So she was like, what did you just do? As the whole situation started to dawn on her in terms of what happened, the Crown's case is that he held her down this time, despite her verbally saying, I do not want to have any further relations with you at all. I never consented to this. She was physically trying to fight him off, and he had intercourse with her again. This time, he ejaculated in her hand and said, there, are you happy? When he was finished. Oh, Lord, have mercy. This case I find disturbing on so many levels. Who does something like that? And who says something like that after raping you? There, are you happy? As though the only concern wasn't the actual assault and you pinning someone down to have your way with them, but was there. You're not going to get pregnant now. Well, she must have had the worst luck this side of the Mississippi, child. Because even after going that morning and taking the morning after pill, this young lady still gets pregnant. Ugh, that's some strong Caribbean sperm, honey child. He'd probably get anybody pregnant. And then, of course, now this young lady is faced with the realization that she's been assaulted twice, one without her consent and one against her consent. And she described it. This is what she said. The victim explained that she felt like she was lying on her back like a cockroach. What an imagery. You know when a cockroach is like dead and it's like, that's how this poor girl felt in this environment. She talked about how nasty his apartment was, that there was urine stain all over the bathroom and it smelled and there was no hand towels for her to even try to clean herself after. She was disgusted. So he took her to get the morning after pill and then dropped her back home. And, her concern was to wash off this man's dirtiness off of her. Such a sad situation. She started to have some mental health issues. His defense is that all she cared about was getting pregnant. And that's what she was upset about, that this had nothing to do with the fact that he just raped her, allegedly. And this was about her trying to get money from him. And I'm going to tell you about his defense here in a second. So the story continues. And, she started to all of a sudden not be able to perform in school. Up until that point, she was an average student, had no issues performing. Now she can't perform. She doesn't want to attend school. One of her instructors said to her, what's going on with you? And she then confides in that person that she had been assaulted by this man. But apparently she'd confided in more than one person even before she had found out that she was pregnant. She consulted in her friend overseas who testified for the prosecution, saying that, yes, she told her what had happened, and she was horrified to hear the details of what had happened to her friend. She confided in one of her teachers. She confided in an exam proctor. She confided like in 3 different people. One of the instructors actually gave evidence on the prosecution's behalf as well. Because now this young lady started to have mental health issues indicative of a person who'd suffered a traumatic event. So much so that she was saying that she did not even want to wake up anymore. Like she just wanted to go to sleep and never wake up. That's somebody who's suicidal, in case you don't know what that means. So she was prescribed anti-anxiety medication by a local attending physician. Imagine having to go through all of that. And then to find out in early August that you're pregnant for your rapist child. Oh my God, I can't even fathom. My brain during the proceedings is like trying to balance all of this in my head. And as someone who's normally a very logical person, except for that 5% of the time when I will be illogical, this was one of those things that fell into the illogical section of my head. Like this, I'm just like, I don't even know what I would do. I'd probably want to kill him, to be honest. But that's often not a real option. So when she texts him and says, I cannot believe this. This is her worst nightmare that has come true now, even more. And she says, you will never have a chance to hurt another woman like this ever again. So what his defense did was she must have been WhatsApping him. And then because they took her phone, they took all the messages and whatever. And then she would like delete stuff. She's probably cursing him out royally. And then, deleted it, thought better of it, and sent another message. So their defense in the end, in the closing argument was, oh, well, what about all these deleted messages? What were they really saying? They were saying something else. I'm like, how do you know that? He never said what the deleted messages said because he never saw them. So it's easy now to fabricate and insinuate what those messages may have been. But how can you say? We've all done that where we'll send someone a message. The other day, I accidentally sent someone a message that wasn't intended for them, and I deleted it because it wasn't intended for them. So who knows why she deleted the messages? But of course, that's one of the few things that they could kind of grab onto to talk about what this was really all about from her perspective. By the way, the most compelling piece it was all compelling, but one of the most interesting things about this young lady is she has now become a victim's advocate for rape victims, and she helps them go to court. So I thought this was really, really interesting because someone said that, this is what I'm going to just read you the quote from the prosecution because I thought that this quote summed it up quite nicely. The prosecution, Miss Sarah Lewis, said, lying is not a comfortable experience for anybody. Even if Miss X, and I put X because that's what we're going to call her, was to go so far as to make a false accusation of rape stemming from anger of getting pregnant and maintain this lie at court, perhaps to save face or feeling like there was no going back, Miss X's current occupation would bring her face to face with that lie and continue to remind her of it. Miss X has chosen to work as a sexual abuse advocate. So this is a lady who has left school, left her position and has now become an advocate for other victims such as herself. It would be beyond peculiar to think that anybody would lie about this and have this life-changing transformation where they're going to maintain this life for the rest of their lives. It just doesn't make any sense. And I'm glad that the prosecution pointed that out. The other important thing to say here is, despite the defense claiming that really what she was upset about was getting pregnant, of course she was upset about that. But that doesn't mean that the rape didn't take place, which is exactly what they were alleging, that it was consensual. Well, if it was consensual, the prosecution's case is, why did she tell? If it was the pregnancy or finding out that she got pregnant was what really sent her over the edge, and why she's now accusing this man of rape, why would she have confided in all of these people before that point? Why was she on anti-anxiety medication? Why was her life falling apart? Why did she have to quit school and all of this other stuff? It just doesn't make any logical sense. And I must tell you, his defense lawyer, I guess, did the best with what he had, but it really doesn't make any logical sense at all. In addition to that, the alleged victim's testimony was very, very detailed, whereas his testimony was surface level. And you find that, and I'm a people watcher, so I love, this is one of the elements of, I guess it's a little bit of like voyeurism in a way, when you sit in court and you hear people testify. One of the interesting things is some people, when they give testimony and you know that they're lying, don't provide any details because it's a lie. It's a fabricated story. And they haven't really thought it through that much, to be honest, right? And then other people will make up details. I remember when I was watching the Tortuga robbery case with that young lady, Eve High Voltage, her story was so fabricated, and she gave details that, a week after being arrested, when she had her first police interview, she couldn't remember any of these details. All of a sudden, she shows up to court being able to tell you how she went to a beach party and she could tell you what was on the menu. And the prosecution was like, how is it that years later you can remember that level of detail? But at the time of the incident, when you gave your police interview, you make no mention of going to the beach. You claim you were home all night, and your story kept shifting. Not only did you not make mention of going to the beach, you didn't make mention of party. You made no mention of cooking for your girlfriend's birthday party in the beach, and now you can tell us what was on the menu? These prosecutors have their cases cut out for them, let me tell you. These people can lie like a rug. So anyway, but yet, there will still be details that still will not be forthcoming. So I remember in that case, the judge said, where on the beach did you go? Oh, the Kimpton. Where exactly? Tell us how you got there, how you drove. Couldn't answer the question. Wasn't expecting the judge to put questions to her like that. Like, oh, you went to the beach? Where? As someone who doesn't live here, can you tell me exactly where that is? You get caught in your own lies. But his story was very, very light on details. Couldn't even remember what the girl was wearing. He claims, that since it was consensual, the prosecution said, okay, walk us through what happened. You took off her clothes first. She took off your clothes first. How did this happen? Oh, I don't really remember. We just ended up, I just remember lifting up her dress and we had sex. Prosecution's like, really? You were having this passionate session and you don't remember the details of how it happened? How can that be? So, one of the things that he said on the stand is that she was trying to extort money from him, that this was a money grab. So she wanted a free ticket home to Canada. Okay. I'm sure there's better ways to get a free ticket, honey child. And that she wanted a free abortion. Ooh, Lord, sign me up for free abortions. Like, what? Sometimes the things that men say about, things that impact women, it's just like they must be stupid. So the prosecution put to him, oh, really? Well, did you know that she had told her parents about this incident and they paid for her to go to Canada so she wouldn't need money from you? Oh, didn't know that. And did you also know that in Canada, abortions are free? So nobody has to pay for it. So why would she be asking you for money for an abortion that was free? Oh, gosh, didn't know that either. So although he said that on the stand, when his attorney, Mr. Keith Myers, was wrapping up, there was no mention all of a sudden of this supposed line of defense, which is that she was trying to get this money grab. Instead, the summing up was basically she was out for a good time that night, which I was insulted. Mr. Keith is my little friend, but he sure gets some creepers as clients. He gets the child molesters and the worst because nobody else normally wants to take those cases. And I guess he does his best with a defense argument. But to say that she was out to have a good time, that she wanted to have a good time that evening, and to call this girl a liar, I must tell you that I guess defense attorneys have a job to do. But I was certainly not impressed with that terminology that was used. As someone who's advocated for victims for all of my adult life, really, and even beyond, I'm insulted when somebody says, oh, she wanted it. Because that's the oldest argument in the book. Anyway, the defense also claimed in his closing arguments that she had the hots for him long before that weekend, that she was somehow, daydreaming, I guess, about Renato. I doubt that. Somebody has the hots for you. They're never going to message you. They're never going to call you. That seems a bit weird to me. And of course, his client's position is that the intercourse between the two was nothing more than two consenting adults. And that was it. So Justice Carter said that she's going to take some time to consider the submissions and provide a written judgment, hopefully by November the 25th. And she said that ultimately, she noted that this came down to a question of credibility. And so November 25th, stay tuned, folks. We will have the decision once it's rendered. Now, she's hoping that gives her basically 3 weeks from Friday. She's hoping that, that will be sufficient time. If it isn't, there's a delay. We'll certainly let you guys know. With a jury trial, when a jury comes back, they render their verdict. Guilty, not guilty, that's it. Trying to appeal a jury decision is beyond difficult. I don't know that it's impossible, but 99.99% of the time, that's not going to happen. You'd have to have some sort of case of fraud or something in the jury pool to probably dismiss the jury and kind of start all over. But to question a jury decision, judges, on the other hand, have to be very, very careful because their decision is open to appeal. So that is why most of them will take the time to consider it. They're going to put it in writing. And, here's another thing that was very interesting. Apparently, when she had the abortion, so to Carol's question, Carol's like, oh my God, did she have to have the child? What am I listening to? She didn't. She aborted the child at a clinic in Canada. And she actually asked the clinic to please preserve the fetal matter for evidential purposes. So now this young lady was really starting to think with her head, because who knows what he might have come up with. He might have then tried to claim that, he didn't have any intercourse with her at all, and this rape or this baby was not even his. So kudos to her. She told the clinic that this pregnancy was a result of a rape, and that she needed the fetal matter preserved for evidential purposes in case they needed to test it for DNA and so on. Wow. And he's saying that this is consensual. Anyway, the judges normally do written decisions and they give the reasons why. They will talk about, I'm sure we will hear from her, what evidence she found to be most compelling, because now she sits as, the arbiter of this situation. She's kind of the judge, the jury, if you will, of facts and of law. I think the law was pretty straightforward in this case, but she'll talk about the legal elements that she has to consider for the charge of rape. And we will certainly update you guys. Me, I'm sitting there listening to it, and I believe he's guilty as hell. But I'm not the judge. So I won't be writing the decision. I will just be reporting on it once the decision's out. So good morning to Mia. So good to see you. She said morning to everyone. Sandra says a lady like her with no self-control needs to stay home under her parents' supervision, drinking till she blacks out. In some countries, she would end up dead. Sandra, without a doubt, getting to that point puts you in a very dangerous and precarious situation, but it still does not give him the right to take advantage of her and to rape her. And ultimately, whether someone is blacked out or whether you pin them down like he did in the morning and had his way with her, neither of those situations is right, and they both constitute rape. So some people are still walking around with this idea in their head that rape is, forced. It's forcibly, and the person has to pin you down or whatever. Both situations are rape. If a person is incapable of consent, whether they're inebriated because of alcohol, drugs, they could have passed out for any reason. They could just be a hard sleeper. A sleeping person or a passed out person cannot give you consent. An incapacitated person cannot give you consent. Children cannot give you consent. Someone who mentally is challenged cannot give you consent. There's a lot of reasons why someone might be in a position to not be able to give you consent. And if a person cannot give you consent, do not touch that person in a sexual way. It's shocking that one person in the space of several hours can take advantage of a person allegedly not once but twice. Once when the person didn't even know what was going on, and the second time they're clearly saying no and trying to fight him off, and he still pins her down, like she said, like a cockroach, and has her way on his dirty stained sheets. What's he looking at if he's convicted? Not enough time is all I can tell you. 10 plus years, maybe even more. He reminds me of, there's a case with a guy who, what's his name? I think it's Gadar Singh or something, but he's the guy who raped a tourist visitor. And I think he was sentenced to, is it Gadar Singh or something Singh? Something Singh his name is. Anyway, he was sentenced to a bit of time for raping. He was a hotel worker and he raped a guest at the hotel. And he was one who was also then permitted by the prison staff, Her Majesty's Palace, aka Her Majesty's Prison, to go and work in the female prison as a chef. Y'all remember this case? What the heck was his name again? I'll get it for you here in a second. So anyway, in that particular case, the judge looked at a number of different things. So there will be sentencing guidelines that will be followed. And here he is, Gadar Singh. His name is, he appealed his rape conviction to the Court of Appeal, which a lot of them like to do on our dime. And he lost it. Rohan Anthony Gadar Singh, 45 years old at the time of this article, which was back in 2021. So he lost his appeal. And this is the second time, in fact, he had tried to go to the Court of Appeal and they turned him down. So he was accused and convicted of raping a 23-year-old victim in her hotel room on her birthday, of all things, where he also raped her twice and threatened her with a knife. So he would have gotten a little bit more time because of the threat with the knife. Renato didn't use a weapon, but he was sentenced to what was his sentence again? He got quite a number of years, 13 years. So he probably got a couple years added on for the weapon element of it. So I'm thinking for Renato, probably 10 plus years, somewhere in the range of 10 years is probably what he's looking at if he's convicted. It's a sad situation. He's obviously thrown his life away. This man, Renato, has children here in the Cayman Islands with quite a few, at least I think 2 or 3 women. And so now, including a son. Renato also has a previous conviction, so that will work against him in the sense that the judge will be like, this isn't your first time at the rodeo. So he won't get a whole lot of concessions if he's convicted, but she'll make a determination on the 25th, hopefully, guilty or not guilty. Then they will take time to do social inquiry reports, victim impact statements, and all that kind of stuff will be part of that and submitted to the court for the judge to then do sentencing. So he probably will not be sentenced until some point into early next year, if I had to guess, based on how I know these things work. So the social inquiry report can take, a month. And then depending on how busy they are, but with the upcoming holidays, that's not likely to happen this year. So I would guesstimate, if I had to put a time on it, mid-January at the earliest, before he'll be back for sentencing if he's found guilty. We'll keep you guys updated. It was a hard case to listen to. And a hard case to really even report on. These things are very, very challenging. Miss Sonia is joining us from the Dominican Republic. Buenos dias. ¿Cómo estás? Good morning to Miss Sherry Arch. Miss Joy from Texas is here. So nice to see you, Miss Joy. Charlene is here. Thank you. Alejandro says, sounds so familiar. Good morning, Alejandro. Yeah, it's very disturbing. All right, let's move on. So that was Friday afternoon, but the action just didn't stop on Friday. So by Friday evening, all of a sudden I started getting these messages of this scammer, which you guys are very familiar with if you've been listening to the program. My God, what on earth? Scammer Garth Christopher Duncan at it again. Now, Ace, I think I saw Ace say good morning earlier. Ace is here, listening to the program. This man, somebody's saying that, let me just read a few comments. Someone is saying that Gadar Singh and Renato are friends. I'm not surprised, because the circle of DJs is a relatively small community. So I'm sure that they all know each other and they all socialize with each other and they all go out in these bars doing their foolishness. For the question of whether Renato has status, I'll see if I can find out. My understanding is that he had it at one stage, but he lost it. And so my sources don't know if he still has it or if he got it back. Someone else said Renato must have done this 1,000 times. He messed with the wrong girl this time. Well, you know what is interesting is he did say that apparently all women find him attractive. Because when the prosecution was asking him, is it normal for you to have intercourse with women without any protection? And he's like, yeah, 90%, he said, of the women who have sex with him don't even ask about protection. I thought, wow, y'all are living dangerously out in these streets. Really? With the likes of somebody like this who's sleeping with everything, every Tom, Dick, Harry, Sally, Samantha, and in between? Y'all don't be, you ladies out in the streets not asking about protection? That's the least you should be doing. Before we get into the next scammer alert, let's get a weather update from Kevin Watler, because something is going on in the tropics that we need to keep an eye on. And interest in Florida, who just got hit by a major hurricane, need to pay attention as well. Good morning, George Fullerton. How are you?
More weather updates are brought to you by WG Charters. They offer private boat trips for a great price, so we encourage you to support them.
Stormwatch 2022 is brought to you by Home Gas, your propane experts before, during, and after the storm.
Hurricane season is not over. Early this morning, the National Hurricane Center began issuing advisories on subtropical storm Nicole. Now, this system will impact the Bahamas and Florida this week.
Home Gas is a proud sponsor of CMR's Storm Ready 2022, as we stand ready to support you before, during, and after any storm. Here at Home Gas, Our team of managers, field experts, and customer service agents work overtime to ensure that you are covered during hurricanes. With over 65 years of experience, we have been here with you through tropical depressions and major hurricanes like no one else. The same real-world experienced team that saw you through catastrophic Hurricane Ivan is still here, poised to continue offering the best service before, during, and after the storm. Contact us today at 345-949-7474 or email info@homegas.net.
Yes, honey child. This next one, scammer alert, really picked the wrong victim, just like Renato might have picked the wrong victim as well. You know, sometimes you buck up on people and you just don't know who you're bucking up on. You know, in the moment, I think anyone who's ever been a victim of a crime, you feel vulnerable. Sometimes you're confused. You don't know what to do. But when you gain your strength afterwards, you are going for blood and you want these people to pay. Well, that's what happened. I want you guys to watch this video. Garth has been featured on this program September the 12th. We were here. We had Ace come on the show. Ace, you can always jump back on the show if you'd like. But Ace was talking about how this man took advantage of him in a work permit situation. Ironically, after Ace came on the show, we then understood that this was not the first time that Garth had done this. And in fact, he had a long list of individuals that he had taken advantage of. The latest scam seems to be a work permit related one, where he took work permit money from people and never, when I say never, I mean did not return the money, didn't take out the permit and nothing. So the difficulty with this, two things I want to say to the authorities. Immigration can't do anything about him because he actually hasn't submitted a work permit. If he submits a work permit, then it becomes an offense under the immigration, I think it's called the transition law, whatever the heck it's called, right? So let me just see here now what it's actually called. But until that, immigration can't do anything. Work Immigration Transitional Act 2022. Because if he submits a work permit and you paid for it, that is the offense. Because folks, listen very carefully. You are not supposed to pay for your own work permit under any circumstances, and you all need to stop it. This is one of those things that the courts and the immigration and police need to crack down on. And if it means cracking down on the victims who are actually doing it, y'all listen to me, victims, to make y'all stop abusing the immigration system, then it is going to have to happen that way, in my opinion. You can feel free to disagree with me, but too much of it is happening in this country, and it's going to continue to happen because people are desperate. And I get it. I understand your desperation, but despite that, we are creating a really serious immigration breach. And what we end up happening is we have people walking around in this country who have no work. Because these people don't have no work for them. And so what that means is that they then become a liability to all the rest of us. Maybe that's why we have so many robberies right now and people going around committing these types of offenses. Because we have too many people in this jurisdiction who do not have a job and should not be here, none at all. Immigration, PAC government, y'all need to start cracking down on this sort of stuff in a very, very serious way. So anyway, that's how he was scamming people. Claims that he had a job for you, had no job, using his uncle's company and business license to perpetrate a fraud. Now, oh yes, he's going to pay people back. So when we contacted him, remember what he did us? He thought he was being smart. He messaged and said, remember on the phone, he's like, oh, I'm going to call you back. And he hung up the phone. Of course, didn't call us back. I knew what kind of person I was dealing with from the word jump. I said, oh yeah, here we go. He think he's smart, but believe me, I've seen a thing or two from scammers. So he not fooling me. I don't know who he thought he was fooling. Give this man every opportunity to pay Ace back. Over a month, I was chasing him. And I finally said to Ace, this man not gonna pay you back. We managed to get I think it's $400, Ace. Correct me if I'm wrong. We managed to get $400 out of $1,300 from him because he claims that, his client's not paying him. I'm like, what clients? You're not even supposed to be in this jurisdiction working or running a business. The slackness that happens on this island, in particular when it comes to immigration, is really, really shocking, to be honest. Anyway, turns out Ace is not the only person he was scamming. He was scamming all kind of people that have come forward since then. One woman alleges that he has taken over $76,000 from her. She was giving him money for a business, and he was pocketing that money, doing whatever the heck he wanted with it. So on Friday evening, he buck up on the wrong person. Where's Sherry Ann this morning? Anyway, Sherry Ann Bodden, formerly Smith, is a local realtor. She does rentals and so on. You know, she has a lot of the smaller mom and pop type of rental accommodations. They don't want the headache of doing it themselves, so they handle Sherry Ann to handle their business. Well, I tell you what, she handled the business at Garth on Friday night. Here he comes now trying to scam her. We're supposed to pay $700. I know she does some short-term rentals and stuff as well, right? Supposed to pay $700. And this is what he does. These people think they're so smart. So he pretends to send the money online, sends you a screenshot of that and say, see, I've sent the money. The money not received the next day after, hold on, we haven't gotten the money. Oh, shoot, the account number was wrong. Oh, shoot, the name is wrong. He is purposely, y'all need to listen to me because he would not be the only person who is doing this. Purposely putting in incorrect information in the system, the banking online system, so that he knows the transaction will never go through. Y'all heard what I said? That's the level of smarts this scammer was up to. Do y'all know that at one point he went to law school here? I don't think he ever graduated, but I'm like, what? This is what we had even at our law school? Oh my God. So the situation went on, and Sherry Ann had finally had enough because, you know, if he don't pay it and she's allowed him to take possession of these people's rental property, she's the one who's going to be on the hook for the $700. What? Here's what went down, folks, on Friday night.
Well, good evening, everyone. This is the gentleman named Garth Duncan. He has scammed me. He has scammed the apartment he was living in. He has used this about he come and not paying the rent. He has a child with him. Immigration is looking for him. He has a lady with him. Yes, his uncle is sick and he using him as sick. This is the man that was on the show the other day that's not paying bills in the Cayman Islands and scamming everybody. I have him blocking now, and I block him in and he gone in the car. And he have 3-4 people here. This is the kind of people that we got staying on our island. They need to go home. They don't have nowhere to live. And he scammed me and send money to the account, put the wrong spelling, then change it to the wrong date. Then I told him it wrong. Then he changed it to the wrong number. Now he's sitting in the car and I've blocked him in and I've got him on camera. This is what's happening in Cayman, and I'm letting her know. I have called immigration, I called the police, and I called task force for him. Because I am a real estate agent and I'm doing this for my living, and he has scammed the people. Now I have to pay for this and pay back the money for him living here for almost 1.5 weeks and has not deposited the money. He has left the apartment in a mess. When he got the apartment, it was top of the line and clean. He have gotten stuff all over the floor. Do not rent this man no apartment. This is how he got his apartment, with things thrown down, all kind of things on the ground. Don't rent this man no apartment. His name is Garth Duncan. Do not rent him anywhere. The immigration department needs to come and collect him. He is still out here scamming. Right now, I have him blocked in, and I'm waiting on the police to come to this department here right now. He has a nice car, drives up and down all day, and telling me that he's going to borrow money from this one and that one. I waited 10 times, 4 days, every day he texting me. And I will send the messages with it. How he spelled the name wrong, he put the number wrong, then he put the date to change it. I am sending it to immigration, I send it to the police, and I'm waiting on the police right now to come for him. And also, I am waiting for the task force to come here. I have called him. He's not hostile, but he is a liar, and the government is investigating him. And I don't want him, he right there stand up, and I'm not letting him out till somebody come from CBC.
Wowee. Yeah, Cameron says Sherry-Ann was the right one to mess with. George is asking, what is his name? I'm going to do you one better, George. I'm going to give you the link for the story so that you can go and read all about him. And furthermore, you can see his picture. Feel free. His name is Garth Christopher Duncan. I got his date of birth, got his driver's license. All kind of documents were sent to me, honey child, but there he is. Look at him good. Embed that face into your memories, folks, because he'll probably be here again next week on the island, because we understand he left last night by way of the outgoing flight to Jamaica. Yep, he found his match all right. And I must tell you, I had to just chuckle when I heard Sherry-Ann. Now, y'all know Sherry-Ann, my love. Proper Caymanian, and that Caymanian accent. I just had to laugh when I heard her on Friday. She was so upset. When you get really upset, you always resort to whatever your native tongue is. So you could tell how upset Sherry-Ann was, because she was dispensing with any niceties, it was like, listen, she was just bringing out that Cayman accent, hot and heavy. Did y'all hear it? Let's listen to it one more time. Because isn't it beautiful to hear a proper Caymanian accent? Listen to it one more time. Listen.
Well, good evening, everyone. This is the gentleman named Garth Duncan. He has scammed me. He has scammed the apartment he was living in. He has used this about he come and not paying the rent. He has a child with him. Immigration is looking for him. He has a lady with him. Yes, his uncle is sick, and he using him as sick. This is the man that was on the show the other day that's not paying bills in the Cayman Islands and scamming everybody. I have him blocking now.
Y'all heard that little Caymanian twang right there? Everybody. That is just such a classic Caymanian way of saying everybody. She's just everybody. I'm not even gonna be bothered with pronouncing this properly. He's scamming everybody. Y'all hear me? I love it. The accent, that is. Don't love the scammer, but love the accent. But yeah, they're scamming everybody, child. Listen, this dude is classic. Y'all want to hear a little bit more Cayman accent? Some of our listeners, we have friends all over the world. They might be like, I've never really heard a proper Caymanian accent. Continue to listen, honey child. Keep listening to this.
And I block him in, and he gone in the car. And he have 3-4 people here. This is the kind of people that we got staying on our island.
Yes,
they need to go home. They don't have nowhere to live. And he scammed me and sent money to the account, put the wrong spelling, then change it to the wrong date. Then I told him it wrong. Then he changed it to the wrong number. Now he's sitting in the car, and I've blocked him in, and I've got him on camera. This is what's happening in Cayman. And
now you can imagine that he's using the uncle as an excuse, which the uncle not know better than him. Let me make it abundantly clear. The uncle is the original crook in this whole situation. And Garth has learned his crookedness from his uncle. Y'all remember we wrote about the uncle. His name is Winston Salmon. And he's in court for writing $22,000 worth of bad checks to the Cayman Islands government. How is he any better than the nephew? See him there? Oh, because he's involved in a couple NPOs and he received some reward. I don't give two hoots. Crook. How the hell can you write $22,000 worth of bad checks knowing that you don't have the money in the bank? That means you are a crook. 12 payments by check that was dishonored by the bank. Are y'all listening to me? Because government is suing him for their money. They've issued a writ of summons just earlier this year. When was this? March of 2022, I saw the writ. We reported on it. Wrote 12 bad checks ranging from $3,075 to $570 from June the 21st through November of 2021, totaling $22,437.50. For government services, he is a crook, just like the nephew. Just to hear old crook. And yes, he's on dialysis or whatever. But that don't make no difference. He's still a crook. And of course, the nephew is attempting to use the illness of the uncle to gain sympathy. So they have this company, G&A Spectacular Cleaning Service, which according to the business license is at 124 Halifax Road. That's probably somebody else's address that they've been evicted from, right? And this is not the first time that Salmon has been before the court. Bank of Butterfield took him to court in 2017 for defaulting on the mortgage, and they say he was indebted to them for $46,000. Now, somebody said to me yesterday that the same nephew caused the uncle to lose his apartment. Well, you listen to me and listen to me very carefully, everyone. There is no way, and when I say no way, I do mean no way in hell, that you, as an uncle, an aunt, a niece, a nephew, a brother, a sister, you'll be having me up into any shenanigans to ruin my good name and lose my apartment for $46,000 or anything else. I don't know how they're blaming the nephew. I don't know what the nephew did. But the uncle is a seasoned man himself. He must know better. So he's being conned by his own nephew? Well, who taught him the conning is what I want to know. Folks, you cannot make this stuff up. I'm telling you. Cayman sometimes feels like an alternative universe. So, anyway, Sherry Ann went off on him epically on Friday. We posted it up. She sent us the video. She said, I've had enough. And I said, girl, you missed it. You could have saved yourself a little bit of trouble had you been listening to CMR, because we warned y'all about this Garth man. We said, do not have any dealings with him. He's a scam artist. He's a crook. And what did he do? Turned around trying to crook people now out of rentals. But yet, I think I'm hearing a little bit of rain. Yes, a little bit of showers from above this morning. As Sherry Ann pointed out, he can sure find money to go and get a rental car and drive around in all day. What kind of crooked? Listen to me. So border control, remember they're two separate things now, that CBC had issued him basically a deportation notice. They call it something slightly different, but they told him you got to go. The police and financial crime have received numerous complaints about him. The police keep telling people, oh, it's a civil matter. At some point, it does not become a civil matter. At some point, this is criminal. You're going around scamming all these other people. I'm going to remind you guys about another scammer in court this morning as well. Somebody reminded me. I got to check the cause list and make sure I'm there on time today. But, you are crooking people out of their hard-earned money, and you do it with a degree of habitualness, if that's a word. It is, folks, a crime. Obtaining property by deception. It's no longer just a civil matter. And this is where I think the police, a lot of police officers, when you go to them and you report certain things to them, they don't want to do anything about it because they're too friggin' lazy. They're too lazy to investigate. So their laziness, oh no, ma'am. Oh no, sir. It's a civil matter. We can't do nothing about it. That's because you don't want to do nothing about it. You don't want another case on your hands. And people like Garth Duncan get away with highway robbery, taking people's hard-earned money. So immigration, CBC, Border Control, had taken, he'd been charged, I think, with some other immigration offenses and I guess paid fines and whatever. So CBC had taken control of the situation, and they had issued a removal notice and tell him you got by the 14th to get out of here. So apparently what he was going to do is he was going to stay in Sherry Ann's rentals until then, keep giving her an excuse every other day with the son, the old man, the uncle staying there, and some woman. I don't know who the woman's supposed to be. Got to have a woman right up until last minute, honey, chill. And, he was going to continue with all these shenanigans up until the 14th, I guess. Well, Sherry Ann put a plug in his pipe come Friday that he never expected. It is so funny that Sherry Ann didn't know about him. And evidently he didn't know about Sherry Ann either. Because had he known about Sherry Ann when he went to try and run this scam, he would have been like, oh, let me go find somebody else to try and run it on. Because that was definitely the wrong Cayman and he buck up on. Trust and believe me. Over 18,000 people have seen the video that we posted on Friday already. He has gone viral, as we say. So I think realizing now that, the gig is finally up. CMR has me up. Everybody's seen it now. That was just 18,000 on Facebook alone. I don't even know how many saw him on Instagram. He realized that for sure, nobody's going to rent to him. Look at how nasty that place was after just living there for a couple of days. I was like, what the heck? Anyway, my sources have revealed that he booked a flight to leave with his son, leave the jurisdiction last night, 6 p.m., heading to Kingston, Jamaica. My question is this. He was here, no work permit at this time. He had applied for PR. That was turned down. But yet we allow this man to remain in this country? Again, same scenario. No work permit. What do you think he'll be doing but scamming people for money? This is where border control and works and the government needs to get your act together. If you deny someone PR, don't allow them to remain in this country to walk around with idleness and nothing to do. Because then they become like Garth and others, a real scourge on this community, and they're going out there burglaring people, robbing people, doing the most. And that is precisely what is happening. Yeah? The burglaries and the robberies in the past week has been atrocious. It's like Christmas is coming and these guys need money. And so they're out there taking advantage of everyone. Cameron, good morning, says, love it. The video with Sherry Ann, that is. Perla says, good morning. This made my morning, Lord. Marshall says Sherry Ann was the wrong one to buck up on. She sure exposed him. Darlene is asking the question, how and why wasn't he taken off the flight? Darlene, I was kind of thinking about this yesterday as well. And it's a bit of a conundrum, to be honest, because we take him off the flight. We charge him. He should have been charged a long time ago. We now have to feed and incarcerate him. He's going to get 3 square meals a day on our dime. He'll probably end up catching COVID while he's in there. So then he'll need medical assistance again on our dime. And then afterwards, we're going to deport him. So we're going to spend money to keep him for how long? Probably a couple of years, go through the whole court system. Maybe the best thing is deportation. Save us the time and energy, but of course, then he gets away scot-free with it. But you know what? You don't get away scot-free forever, What do they say? Time longer than rope. You better believe that. His rope got run out and he's going to hang himself when he go to Jamaica because he's in the wrong country now to be trying to run scams on people. Tell him go do this to 1 or 2 Jamaicans and he gonna see which ditch he gonna end up in, honey child. But my sources reveal, because I got sources all over the place, that apparently the man was sending money home every single week. Y'all pay attention now. can't pay his rent, can't pay back Ace and the countless other people that he owes all of this money to. But yet, he could be wiring money on almost a daily basis back to Jamaica. Oh, Jesus, what you saying? Yep. That's exactly what he was doing. So that now when he go back, because, the exchange rate's pretty damn good. So when he go back now, he's going to be set for a minute. Every day. He's sending money. But don't worry, that money gonna run out. One thing about money, it don't last forever. And when it runs out and he tries to scam people again, I reckon Jamaica not gonna be the place to do it and live long. I'm just saying. Quite astonishing, to be honest. But there you have it. Was taking his son with him, had 2 tickets booked. He could find ticket money too. This man was out there working and getting money. In fact, the last conversation I had with him, I wanted to really make sure that this man had the audacity to be working, knowing full well that he didn't have any legal rights to work in this country. So I'm going to show you all the last conversation I had with him so you can get a clue as to exactly what this man was going on with. All right, give me a second here. Let me see now how to pull this up. This doesn't really let you do full screen, but anyway, let me show y'all what this man was up to. This is me messaging Garth and saying, listen, you need to sort yourself out. I said, the police are going to come for you. You need to pay Ace back. Then he talked about Ace is discriminated against him, calling him the N-word. He lucky, that's all he called him. And all kind of other stuff. Here's these messages. And I said, he's not the only victim. Here's another one. Says, begging you, because if not, you'll be on CMR tomorrow. And he's claiming it. Look at the audacity of him. Oh, but Jesus Christ, Sharika, that day when I said, yes, employ her, God knows I made such a mistake. I don't know who poor Sharika is, but it's another one of his victims. And he is trying to gaslight her. Oh, I made a mistake trying to hire you. Give the woman her damn money back. Stop talking foolishness. I chose you, Sharika, because I believe in you. And now this, I should have listened. Really? Sir, you need to get yourself together. He is gaslighting people and scamming people. Hear me say, how's it looking today? Because every day it was another excuse. Hear what he say here? It's looking good, but I'd definitely be in a better position for tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow afternoon, I said, okay, hope tomorrow will be it. I said, even me, this is me now, I'm tired of it. And it's not even my money. I said, when will you be working tomorrow to arrange the collection? Where will you be working? He claims, I'll be home tomorrow. I said, are you able to speed up paying these people in any way? What is the holdup on your end? You say clients are not paying? He says, yes, I'm arranging to speed up the payments, not paying on time, and then they get charged a ridiculous rate. Hear him now with his lies. I said, who are these janitorial customers? Yes, they are. So he's out there running a janitorial business with no legal rights to be able to do so. Y'all understand what is happening in this country? Are y'all paying attention now? Here where he asked me, do you do debt collection as well? Really, dude? Are you serious? This was the 14th of last month. I not even answer the man. Do I do debt collection as well? I gotta be collecting debt for a friggin' crook? You must be out of your goddamn mind. He comes back again. Good morning, Miss Sandy. Finally got paid. Would someone be able to meet me at CNB Savannah morning? I think that's supposed to be Monday morning to pick up some of the cash. I said, hello. I said, maybe we should get it today so it doesn't disappear. These are my words. I'm like, let's get it today so the money don't disappear, because I know the man coming with an excuse over the weekend. He says, no, it won't. We'll cash my check Monday morning at CNB. I said, okay. Mm-hmm. And then I said, I'll ask Miss So-and-so to try and meet you on Monday, because that's a busy day for me. And so on. And they said, if you want to put it into the CNB account, that would make it easier. Oh, yes. Send the account information. Hello, Miss Sandy. Sorry, I was busy. Here we go again. More excuses coming. Send the banking account details. That was done. And the man that paid a friggin' dime. I said to him, more people are coming forward and going to the police. I said, you need to pay off Ace, my dear. This is about to get nasty. I tried to warn the man. That was the 18th of last month. I said, this is about to get nasty. Did he pay me any mind? Y'all don't want to listen to me. Then he comes back talking foolishness about, hi, Miss Sandy. Yes, I'll sort Ace out tomorrow. I'm depositing $300. By month end, I'll sort the balance for Ace, then start on someone else. Well, he not paid the $300, and he definitely not paid no balance. So I said to him, by then, maybe too late by then, obviously you're not able to keep your word over a month now with Ace alone. And then he replies, okay, I'll move as fast as I can. When this is over, I need to speak with you. Sharika has to come forward. Really? I don't know who the hell Sharika is, honey child. But what I do know is that you, sir, Garth Christopher Duncan, are a scammer. You can imagine a scammer talking about he needs my help. He must have wanted me to kick out his 2 front teeth. Figuratively speaking, of course. What on earth? Darlene says this is bad that citizens have to do the police job. Miss Moya says, you go, girl, get them scammers out. He does not have Cayman status, thank God. This is not one that we've given it to yet. Couldn't get PR. Perla says, please don't show his nasty face. You better know who he is, child, because like I said, he'll come back with a new passport here soon, claiming to be Garth's twin brother. Morning, Debbie. Debbie says that Caymanian accent is music to my ears. I know, right? Miss Darlene says, yep, Sherry Ann is his match. Morning, Sherry Ann. There you are. Mo Adams says, love this woman. And the uncle getting free medical, probably. Oh, yes, Magdalene. I'm sure we're paying for that. Morna says, well, we will read all about him soon. Most of the people he scammed is from Jamaica. So those people that he scammed, they've done call their people, letting them know about him. So you know what happens then. I hope nothing happens to the little boy. Shaking my head. It's such a shame, really, that this little boy is being exposed to this kind of lifestyle, because you know what his poor future holds for him. It's so sad, huh? So Perla says, oh, if my mama can't get help because of these jackasses, they're gonna know who I is. I think you might have lost me there, but old and young crooks all in the family, says Marshall. Rajaj says it's sad to know that there's so many Caymanians that is out of work. Some are stuck in the criminal system, but willing to work, and there's no job opportunities available. Christmas is right around the corner. There's been no tangible effort to start back the road work program. If these individuals can't put money on their table, what else you think is going to happen? The robberies will go up. Not only that, but there's other things to take into consideration as well, like poverty and devaluation. What I will say, Raj, is a couple things. No right-thinking citizen will commit a crime simply because they're in need. you would beg first before you would do that, to be honest. So anyone who is out there claiming that they're committing criminal offenses and they're robbing innocent, hardworking individuals because they're in need and can't find a job, they're just a criminal. I want to be very clear about this. They're a criminal from the word jump, and they're just looking at an easy excuse. Having said that, the Road Works program, which has been an annual situation that gives people who ordinarily don't want to work, because a lot of them don't want to work, but they're willing to do it for a few weeks at a time during Christmas or the summer months in order to earn a little bit of money, or calling for information about this program. That is a Band-Aid of a fix on the situation. I want to be very, very clear. That's not sustainable. Government is giving you charitable work and paying you a salary to do it. It's a temporary relief, but it's not something that I even think y'all should have an expectation of on an annual basis. You're looking for employment, Raj? Are you one of those people that's unemployed? Because I actually know an employer right now who's looking to hire people at, let me tell you what the salary is. They are security positions, and you got to be able to show up to work and do your job. So this company is looking for security officers, both full and part-time, for $7 an hour plus benefits. They're also looking for event stewards to work certain events. That's more on a on-demand basis, and that's $12 an hour. If y'all want work, step up to the plate. Let's get you working. But you have to do your part. So Sherry Ann says, I don't know what kind of cleaning they did. That apartment unit was a mess. Yeah, you can imagine being in the cleaning business and then your apartment look like that. What a mess. Miss Sandra Coe says, lots of this scamming is going on. I declare they share the same script. Sadly, some of these have very responsible jobs in government, lying scammers, using every excuse in the book, playing on our good nature, writing bounce checks, wrecking up our rental homes, high-tech scammers. It's disgraceful. And thumbs up to Sherry Ann. Cameron says, well, we need to put Sherry Ann on the immigration board. Aren't you on the immigration board already, Sherry Ann? Which board are you on? She got the job done quicker than a pot of turtle. Lizette says, why didn't police take his passport? He's now gone. Well, I understand that CBC had his passport because, again, they had put in this notice for him to leave. Suzette says, Sandy, the Cayman Islands government would do us all justice if they form a group or board to carry out door-to-door, workplace-to-workplace investigation with having Miss Sherry Ann as the head of it. We need to dig out such persons, root out the dirt they're carrying out amongst us. And I do believe that there are many on these islands. Well, sadly, Caymanians are part of the problem. Because in some form or another, the people who are taking out work permits for them have some sort of Caymanian status. And sometimes they are bona fide, born and bred Caymanians trying to take advantage of people, because what they do is they have them take out the work permit, and then you pay the Caymanian back out of your salary every single month. They have no job for you, but yet you pay a fee to be able to remain in this country. All of that, folks, is illegal. Debbie says he's been doing all this scamming all this time. Why was he still here? Here's another scam. Folks, stop falling for these scams, because at some point, no one is going to be able to help you. Look at this one. They had the audacity to put together a very nice flyer talking about a foreign wedding day. Going to foreign. Register now, 5,000 Jamaican dollars. How much is that in real money? How much is that in US? I say real money because, man, Jamaica, they say $5,000. That sounds like a lot of money to me. And I'm like, oh, that's only like $5, $10. That ain't no money. But it's a lot of money when you don't have it. when you live in Jamaica and you don't have $5,000, that's a lot of money. Hear this one. Ask about our H-2B wait list for $1,500 to register. Be placed in a job when one becomes available. Admin fee of $2,500. Registration fee of $2,500. These are Jamaican dollars. This is what your package is going to include. They even give you the bank account information in Ocho Rios and Scotiabank and JN Bank. 3 different banks. 1 in Port Maria, 2 in Port Maria, 1 in Ochi that you can deposit your money to. Work and travel jobs, housekeeping, housemen, front desk, dishwashing, all this kind of stuff. First Trio, what is this? Firstrio.org. Let's see if the website even works. Y'all need to stop falling for these scams now. We can't keep saving you from yourself and your own stupidity. Firstrio.org. Let's see. Say, don't look like it working. Oh, yes, it comes up. Hold on. Excuse me. They went to trouble getting a website. Look, yeah. Cultural exchange at its best. A new work environment is waiting for you. First, what's it called? First Rio? First Rio is what they're calling it. Flow into your future, it says. Oh, let's watch. Oh, they even have a little video. Let's watch the video, y'all.
The J1 Work and Travel Program provides international college students with the opportunity to live and work in the U.S. during their summer holiday.
What kind of foolishness
Right
is this?
now, there are hundreds of U.S. employers ready to hire Jamaicans. Hi, I'm Rhonda with First Rio, inviting you to sign up for one of our 3 J1 cultural exchange programs. The J1 Work and Travel, the J1 Internship and
Y'all
Training,
be careful.
and the Summer Camp Counselor Program. First Rio partners with U.S. visa sponsors and employers to help make your program a success. We need
What does this have to do with
full-time
Cayman?
college students, recent hospitality and tourism management graduates, and young professionals with 5 years experience in the hospitality industry. Call us today or visit our office in Ocho Rios to find out what programs are right for you.
103 Main Street.
Our website is www.j1bank.com.
J1 Bank. Hold on a second now. I thought your website was firstrio.org. What is this next one now again? What should say? J1 Bank. Hold on. j1bank.com. So j1bank.com. Another website again. This looks shady now. I don't know who this one is, but this one claims, yes, Route 11, Peru, Vermont, USA, and they have an address, and then they have another thing here with Jamaica. So they claim to have, look, you know, y'all need to be able to pick sense from nonsense. They claim to have placed over 12,000 people, 307 current jobs, employers, blah, blah, blah. They say that they have an office in the U.S., no number listed for the U.S., of course, only Jamaican numbers. Well, shall we call them this morning and see who they are? Because I don't understand what this has to do with the Cayman Islands. This looks like some kind of student work program, and yet they've now done a flyer where they say that they have jobs available. Let me see here now. Cayman Employment Opportunity Program. What is the Cayman Employment Opportunity Program? They have a UK program, an H-2B. I'm guessing that's in the US. Australian Work Abroad, Summer Work and Travel Program, Internship and Training Program. This sounds shady AF. Let's give them a call, shall we? Let me see here now. 1-876-0686. No, hold on. I missed a couple digits there. 876-677-0686. They got enough numbers to spare. They got 3 Jamaican numbers listed.
you for calling first, sir. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. I'm trying to inquire about your work abroad program.
My what program exactly?
Work abroad. I
Couldn't
saw a
hear.
flyer that says registration package 5,000 Jamaican dollars.
Yes, but for which program exactly?
Oh, to the Cayman Islands, please.
Okay. Yes, that program is currently ongoing.
That program is ongoing.
Yes.
Can you
currently
tell me
ongoing.
how it works, please? I've got my aunt that wants to come through that program, and she's in St. Mary.
Okay. The age limit for that program is 60 years old. I'm sorry,
60?
Yes, the age limit for that program, but it also depends on the employer if they wish to employ a person.
Okay.
I'm not sure if the employers have, I'm not saying yes, specific ages that they're looking for, a specific age range, but we have a wide variety of jobs. Majorities in hospitality area, so anything tourism or hotel, like
Yes.
housekeepers, servers, bartenders, lifeguards. We also have construction workers jobs available, nannies. Both for the hotels and I should assume for persons who have their private residence. We also have for teachers, RNs, and the list goes on.
Oh, you have nurses as well?
Yes.
Okay. Because I have my sister-in-law's a nurse. She might be looking for something a little change. So how does the process work then? You have active and available jobs. Is that how this works?
Yes, I'm not sure if we have any nursing slots available right now.
Okay.
But I know we normally get offers. But for the Cayman, we have. So the process first is through registration. Where we start with registration. Then the individual will receive their welcome package, stating the specific information on how to fill out the forms to send back to us. Then we'll normally proceed from there to collecting the documents. We'll work on getting their work permit, sending out information to the employer so they could get through with their work permits. Also for Cayman, you won't need a visa. It's just a work permit if you're a Jamaican citizen.
So there's no visa required?
No visa required. Just work permit.
Just a work permit. Okay.
Yeah.
And what is required then for the work permit? You guys will submit the work permit? Is that how it works?
Oh, no. The first set of information that we'll collect from you, inclusive of your resume, from the welcome package, because the welcome package includes forms for you to fill out and submit back to us within a specific time range. So we'll submit that and other necessary documents to the employer. They'll work on it. Finish a process to see if you'll be eligible, you'll receive your work permit, yes or no. More than likely, I guess. So after receiving your work permit, then we can move on to setting a visa. No, not a visa application date, but further, seeking more. You get your appointment for your interview with the employer to see if you will get the job. Yes.
So you actually submit the work permit, or do you work with another company in the Cayman Islands to do that?
Okay, that question I have to get further clarification on. Okay. I'm not exactly clear in that department on how the work permit goes, but I just know that we have to submit some documents. I'm not sure if it's in the island or in Cayman Island.
Okay. Hello? Hi, you there?
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, that's okay.
I was getting clarification on that.
So, okay. All right.
Yes, depending on which program you are. So for this one, it's Cayman. We'd submit the documents to the sponsors, whether it's island-wide or in the country that you're trying to get the job in, and then they will work with the government to provide the work permits.
Okay,
yes. So
yes, go ahead.
Yes, the price for the program fee for Cayman is $1,800 US. You can have the option to pay 900 as a start and then pay the rest.
Okay, so it's
Yes.
1,800 US, and then
Yes.
basically, what's the initial paperwork that you require? What do I have to submit for her?
Okay, so apart from the welcome package, you have to submit resumes, police record, passport size, not passport, yes, a copy of your passport size picture so that we can get to put it on your form in your file, and on the first page of your passport. And also any payments that are made, you'd have to submit it to us. You can either come in office or you can send it to our WhatsApp number just for as proof of verification that you actually
Right.
verification.
And if I
yes.
wanted to pay that on her behalf, am I able to wire the funds from overseas?
Oh yes, definitely. We have 3 different banking accounts. So you
Okay.
can choose whichever one that's better for you. Well, we have a Scotia, VMBS, and and a Jamaica National Bank. I think the Scotia Bank would be better, mean that you're overseas. We also have a US account.
Yes.
So you can submit it to that if that's your
Okay, so it'd be easier for me to pay the US money into the US account. Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
that's correct. But the 5,000 Jamaican dollars for the registration fee, that's also separate from the 1,800 US for the program's fee, and it's also non-refundable.
Okay. But I'm just trying to understand, is there a guarantee she will find the job, or what is the $1,800 US for exactly?
The $1,800 is for paying the sponsors, dealing with administrative tasks.
When you say the sponsors, that's someone in the Cayman Islands?
Yes, persons in the Cayman Islands who are, heading the program and ensuring that the individual participants are in good hands. So, stuff like that. It's kind of like an overseer.
Right. I see. All right. And am I able to speak with any of the sponsors before I send my money? Because you can't really trust people in this day and age. So you have to kind of verify.
No.
There's no sponsor I can speak to.
The company, we are the ones who speak directly with the sponsors.
Okay.
And in terms of and then we are between the sponsors and the participants. They don't it's not on. No.
It's not.
I can't follow. No.
Oh.
That's
but how long have you guys been in business? Like, how do you know that these sponsors are honest people? How long have you been in business for?
We've been in business for over 15 years.
Over 15 years. Oh wow.
Yes, the person is in the experience now for over 15 years. We have our license. The office opened recently right here, the physical office, but we have our license. It's in the process of being renewed right now. If you want, I could take a WhatsApp number for you or something so I could send you verification.
Yes, that would be much appreciated, please. So you can
or you can also call the Ministry of Labor.
Okay.
But being the case that we're working to get the license renewed, I'm not sure how difficult that would be.
Oh, you mean your business license in Jamaica?
Yes, in Jamaica.
So it might not get renewed?
No, I'm saying being that we're in the process of getting it renewed,
Oh.
I'm not sure how difficult it would be for you to get information
to
on the business.
Okay. But I mean, if you have a current license, then it should be okay.
Yes, we do have a current license, but it still needs to be renewed. The Ministry of Labor gave us an okay though to continue, and if persons call in, they still can get information on the business. But just to let you feel comfortable, I could always say.
Yeah, maybe you could send me a copy of that. Can I go ahead and give you the WhatsApp number?
Yes, no problem.
Okay, so it's area code 345.
345.
Yes, 926. No, sorry, 936.
936.
2626. 26. Yeah, because basically I would be trying to assist my aunt in finding a job in the Cayman Islands, but I just want to make sure that everything is kind of legitimate, and so yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's good that you have Scotiabank, because we have a Scotiabank here in the Cayman Islands as well.
Yeah. Okay. May I have your name?
It's Diane.
Dian?
Yes, that's correct.
What's your last name?
Powell, Powell.
Okay. And is there an email address I can contact you by?
I think WhatsApp is the best because I have email, but to be honest, I don't really ever get to check it because access to a computer, you know. But if you send it to me in WhatsApp, that would be the best way to communicate.
Okay, no problem.
Yes,
All
and
right,
who am I
be sure to
speaking with? What's your name, ma'am?
You're speaking with Regina Williams.
Virginia?
Regina Williams.
Regina Williams.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Miss Regina. I'll look forward to receiving that information from you. And yeah, something in hospitality would be suited for her. Do you know if you have anything with like any of the nice hotels and stuff in the Cayman Islands? I hear they have a lot of really nice hotels there.
Yes.
Because she doesn't like too much stress, you know. She's 50 now, so she still falls within the same age, but I think she's looking for something in a nicer environment where she can get like nice tips and stuff like that, you know?
Okay. Well, there are a list of hotels that we work with in the Cayman Islands. I could just check over with my my manager just to make sure.
Yes.
But yes, we should have flyers of the hotel.
Okay.
So I could forward that one to you as well.
You could send that as well. That would be really, really good. So she can just get an idea of what options she might have available.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Miss Regina. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Okay, dear. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much. You too.
Okay, dear. Bye-bye. Now, what a thing. I noticed some of y'all being hoodwinked about, oh, she sounds legit in the comment section. Y'all would fall for this scam so easy. Legit in my backside. Let's see what information she has. See, when you start to press for details, what hotels? Well, it's a lot of nice hotel. We'll find flyers. Flyers for a hotel? Okay. $1,800 US? So wait a minute. Did I not just see on the flyer who can do some 5,000 US, 5,000 Jamaican dollars is how much is in US dollars? It says JM 5,000. So how did it go from 5,000 Jamaican to that? Not $1,800 US. How much is that? Y'all need to learn how to pick sense from nonsense. Don't be hoodwinked. George is like, wow, this is juicy. George, this must be the first time you've been on one of our programs where we call people. CC says the boldness of the scammers, them. Couldn't name the sponsors. What does she mean by a sponsor? That doesn't even make any sense. That's not what anybody, what is a sponsor? Do not fall for these things, folks. This is somebody who's going to take your money. And you heard what she said. It's non-refundable. They take your money and you don't get it back. And then they're going to give you a welcome packet. A welcome packet to what? I didn't even understand what she was talking about. What the hell's a welcome packet? Folks, don't fall for this. She claims she's going to send me a business license. I'll keep an eye out for that. Heard what she said. Oh, you know, our business license is going in for renewal. If you have an active business license, even if it's in for renewal, you still have an active one until the date of expiration. That's why these government agencies tell you to get it in before it expires. Because all of a sudden now, oh, if I want to call your labor department in Jamaica, oh, they might not have the information for you because let me see if we can reach them. How you find out about business licenses in Jamaica? Right? Now it's a case. I wonder if they open yet. Now it's a case where, oh, you know, they might not be able to confirm it. We've been in business for 15 years, but they can't confirm it. Really? That would seem awfully weird. Why wouldn't they be able to confirm it? Oh, because it's in for renewal? That don't sound too righted. Let's see. Does Jamaica have a searchable option like Cayman where we can see all active license holders? Let's see. We have the orcjamaica.com. Now, some of these people, you can't catch them by phone, you know. It's like, good luck. They have an office at 1 Grenada Way, at the corner of Grenada Way and Grenada Crescent at Kingston 5. They have a Montego Bay office hours 8:30. At customer service numbers. Let's call them and see. Let us see who can answer the phone over there. Because the scammers up early, man. They working hard for their money. I don't know about anybody else, but they almost had me convinced to send them $1,800 of my hard-earned money. Oh, no, they don't. 908-4419. Let's see if anybody's going to answer the phone over there. Oh, mess.
Good day. You have reached the Companies Office of Jamaica, the office where companies and businesses are registered. If you know your party's extension, you may dial it now. To dial by name, please press 1. For information on document filing status and dispatch, please press 2. For information on removal, litigation, or other compliance-related issues, please press 3. For internet queries, please press 4. For customer service and other general inquiries, please press 5. For further,
with that one.
Wait while I transfer your call.
Sound legit.
Please note, your call may be recorded for quality purposes.
All of our representatives are assisting other callers at this time. Your call is very important to us. Please stay on the line, and your call will be handled in the order it was received.
So yeah, that was one of those call centers where she's just there being paid to answer a few questions. And when you start to really dig deep, oh, well, I don't know the answer to that. Let me ask somebody else.
All of our representatives are assisting other callers at this time. Your call is very important to us. Please stay on the line, and your call will be handled in the order it was received.
We kind of did this on the fly, so I didn't have an alternate email address I could give her. We need to set up an email address to catch a scammer kind of situation where we can give them. One for my new name, Diane.
All of our representatives are assisting other callers at this time. Your call is very important to us. Please stay on the line, and your call will be handled in the order it was received.
Debbie says, wow, this is a good scam. It sounds pretty legit. No Satif, says Andrea. Jonathan, you're up with us this morning. Good morning.
All of our representatives are assisting other callers at this time. Your call is very important to us.
Vanessa.
Please stay on the line, and your call will be handled in the order it was received.
Lavana had a good laugh. She says, does she know who she's talking to? I just want her to send me the information by WhatsApp. Because this is the kind of thing, like, I want to know who supposedly they're working with the Cayman Islands. They're not working
All
with
of our
nobody.
representatives are assisting other callers at this time. Your call is very important to us. Please stay on the line, and your call will be handled in the order it was received.
Y'all like the name? I totally made that up on the fly. Oh, Cameron says, somebody come help me get off the floor, please.
All of our representatives are assisting other callers at this time. Your call is very important to us. Please stay on the line, and your call will be handled in the order it was
She
received.
sounded very professional. She says, if we wasn't from Cayman, we would believe the scammers them on point. Yes, child. Good morning, Miss Olive.
All of our representatives are assisting other callers at this time. Your call is very important to us. Please stay on the line, and your call will be handled in the order it was received.
Murder, Fada, God help. Miss Debbie says, good job, Detective Hill. Thank you very much. Yes, hello, Lady Di.
All of our representatives are assisting other callers at this time. Your call is very important to us. Please stay on the line, and your call will be handled in the order it was received.
How many? Can you tell me what number I am in the queue? Aliana says, work just exited the chat. I thought her pause was a phone call.
All of our representatives are assisting other callers at this time. Your call is very important to us. Please stay on the line, and your call will be handled in the order it was received.
There with her, I could kind of hear them whispering in the background. She was asking her a list. Don't y'all fool for it.
All of our representatives are assisting other callers at this time. Your call is very important to us. Please stay on the line, and your call will be handled in the order it was received.
Takes a scammer to catch one sometimes. You got to pretend like you're somebody else, child. Kathy says, Ma Road, you're number one. You did a great job. You deserve a medal on this.
All of our representatives are assisting other callers at this time. Your call is very important to us. Please stay on the line, and your call will be handled in the order it was
Cayman, they
received.
would have been answering by now. My goodness. You could have at least used e-banks. That's more of, there's more of that, Mrs. Jonathan.
All of our representatives are assisting other callers at this time. Your call is very important to us. Please stay on the line, and your call will be handled in the order it was received.
El Rey, $5,000 Jamaican is only $5 CI or US. So how we go from $5 to $1,800 US?
All of our representatives are assisting other callers at this time. Your call is very important to us. Please stay on the line, and your call will be handled in the order it was received.
They actually have bank accounts, 3 different bank accounts set up in Jamaica. So somebody has a business license for some kind of business, because I'm assuming just what we know about
all of
KYC.
our representatives are assisting other callers at this time. Your call is very important to us. Please stay on the line, and your call will be handled in the order it was
legitimately
received.
set up. Now, whether it's for this purpose or this company is a totally different question. Charlene said she had no accurate information regarding her hotels. You see the details. That's why I was pushing her for the details.
All of our
how this
representatives
works.
are assisting other callers at this time. Your call is very important to us.
Let me turn the volume down so somebody finally answers the phone on that. Legit was sarcasm. Ms. Olive says, great job, Sandy. So 5,000 Jamaican dollars is like $30 US.
All of our representatives.
So how do we go from $30 to $1,800 US dollars? Yes, Damien, that's the bait. And now tell me, but I can send it in 2 payments. Professional scammer, says Sandra. That's what she is. Boy, we need to wake up. I'm telling y'all, these things are happening.
Our representatives are assisting other
What's
callers
up?
at this time.
The link
Your
to the
call
show
is very important to us. Please stay
Yes,
on the line, and your call will be
Kathy
handled
says
in
it's
the
about
order it
100
was
US. How y'all all over the place? Is it 5? Is it 30? Is it 100? What's the exchange rate for Jamaica these days? Hold on. Let me just go online.
All of
Exchange
our
rate.
representatives are assisting other callers at this time. Your call is very important to us. Please stay on the line, and your call will be handled.
Well,
in
I know
the
it
order
can't be that
was
important if
received.
they're not answering the phone. So how much was it? 5,000 Jamaican dollars is in US.
All of our representatives are assisting other callers at this
Is
time.
United States
Your call
dollars
is very
is
important to us. Please stay on the
$32
line, and your call will be handled
and
in the
59
order it was
cents.
received.
We have a caller. Good morning, caller. $32.59. Hello.
Good morning. I'm trying to reach Diana Powell.
Yes, hi, this is Diana. How can I help?
Okay, then. Yeah, we cracked it up this morning, Miss Powell.
Now I have to remember the name because they'll be calling me like, I'll be like, who the hell is Diana?
Okay, then. Are you married, Mrs. or Miss Powell?
Miss Powell, sir.
Okay, then, Miss Powell. We both are single, so maybe we can hook up. My name is Rankadeen Kabul.
Oh Lord, have mercy. Can you spell that name for me? Because that sounds like quite a bangarang right there.
No, Mom, I'm not gonna even try.
Oh my goodness.
All right, then you have a good day, my dear lady.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Oh my gosh, you guys are too funny. Did anybody ever answer? Hello? Oh, did they?
All of our
Oh Lord, they
representatives
still got
are
us on hold.
assisting other callers at this time.
These
Your
people
call
not answering the
is very
phone.
important to us. Please stay on the line, and your call will be
Stay on the
handled.
line. Can we just press 0? Sometimes that pushes it through. That is so funny. I was just gonna say, who the hell's Diane? Oh God. Already I forgot. Oh, we have somebody calling me on the other line. Are they intending to call me? Morning. Are you calling to be on air? Hello? Hello, ma'am? Don't call me during the middle of the show because you know I'm on air. Oh Lord. Did my other call hang up? Hello? Oh, I don't know what happened to them. You would have to call the taxi office. The taxi office? What taxi office? Sandy, you're the best, says Andrea. Marshall says the welcome package is for the fools that they scam. They say, thanks for your money, sucker. Lord have mercy, says Andrea. This is entertainment at its best, says Cameron. Sandy should have a shelf full of Emmys. Here, you know. Damien says, gotta love that colonial accent. Kathy is laughing. They're filtering your credit into what? They're filtering your credit into the account, Sandra. Well, this is government. They're not even answering the phone. So this is the company's register office. Company's office of Jamaica, but they don't answer the phone. So if they're not answering the phone, then they have Montego. Oh, maybe we should try the Montego Bay branch. Sometimes the branches are easier to get to because I just want to find out how you verify a bona fide registered business in Jamaica. So let's try the branch number and see if they're any better at answering the phone. The one in Kingston, too busy. Let's see some more comments. 15 years of taking away jobs from Caymanians, says like, they're not taking no jobs from no Caymanians, honey child. They scamming people. Sandra says, I hope Works is watching this nonsense. Morning Cayman Kind Action Committee. Oh, Diane Powell is the name of Jonathan's aunt. He not happy. Really? Are you serious? No.
Sorry, but the person you have called is unavailable. Please leave a message after the tone.
Yeah, they got voicemail on that one. They're not even bothering putting you on hold. Let's try one more number. Apparently they have different extensions. One more, and then after that, we're going to give up on them. But 876-908, and then they have 4419 through 4426. Let's go all the way to 4426 because the last one is probably, oh wait, did I dial that one? Yeah, 4426. That one might not be getting answered, none at all. Yeah, that's only $30-something. So it went from $30-something to $1,800 US. There's a scam right there. Cameron says, Sandy have everybody spitting their tea out this morning. Miss Darlene says, this is too much tea for me this Monday morning. Charlene says, I'll say this. They're on the phone now. So we know once somebody's talking on the phone. I'll say this. These scammers have worked extremely hard to give off the false legit impression, but still have too many cracks for my intellectual mind. That's a call center. Yes. Sandra says, I bet they have a Jamaican partner in Cayman. I don't know. I think they're just taking your money, sending you a welcome package. Linda says, what a calamity. That's the right word for it. Paul says, I'm having a good laugh, honey child. Good morning. Darlene says, Sandy, it may sound like a joke, but it's very serious when our local authorities can't solve crimes and you can. Well, I wouldn't go as far as saying this is solving a crime, but what I would say is it certainly lets them know that they need to be digging a little bit deeper. And there are people who actually are believing these flyers when they see them, and they will send their money. That's the saddest part. People who don't have the money to send. Nicholas, thanks for the exchange rate. Yes. According to exchange rate online, it's rounded up to $33 US. And then I must send another $1,800 for what? No, sir. What a mess. Morning, Danny. Aliana said, what a brother name again? that last caller, that was so funny. Good morning, Miss Lucille. She says, Sandy, a very good morning. So that person yakking on the phone, let's try one extension over. Hold on now. Let's try one more, and then we're going to move on. 876-908-44. Let's do 22. Let's see if anybody can answer that one. She says, I am coming home and I want granddaughter to get a visa for 1 month on the form. The last thing I am listening for them to ask for is to send her knickers. All these numbers busy, honey child. I cannot use my left arm too well. You will see my face soon. I need a job when I come home. You keep one for me. I cannot drive taxi. No word. My grand won't need shelter, so she have to find money. Not even buy. Ooh. So you're coming home and you need a job and shelter? Hot mess. Diane for the day. Yes. Their spouses here in Cayman done called or messaged them. Well, I'm waiting for the WhatsApp message, but let me see. Any WhatsApp messages? Not yet. Check the street address on Google Maps. Oh, now that's a good idea, Jonathan. Jonathan thinking straight this morning. So they claim that they just moved into these offices, which again sounds very suspicious. But let us see. So they said they have an office where was it? In Montego Bay? Let me see now. So they claim, you see that video that they did with the Rio first, whatever, you can get those types of videos done online. They're the easiest thing. You pay somebody $10 and they make those videos for you. So I must tell you that the website looks very generic in that sense. So it says copyright 2022, overseas job placement agency in Jamaica, international exchange programs and international recruitment. Now, the other thing, let me click on learn more. The other thing that you can do, of course, is you can do a general Google search for this company. So it's called First Rio Job Placement. And sometimes you will see other people having talked about them, right? Rio, that's another one, look like Rio Tinto. Graduates and students. Employment agencies approved to place jobs in foreign offices. What is this one? Oh, it looks like Jamaica might have. Oh, good. Agencies approved to place persons in overseas jobs. This list is subject to change on a monthly basis. Revised November 2008. So let's see if First Rio is on here. We have First Choice. Oh, look at what we just found, honey child. Y'all, hold on a second now. I tell you that Google is amazing when you start searching. So we found a list. This is a list out of Jamaica. Y'all, look at this list now. Now, this list claims to be agencies approved to place persons in jobs overseas. This is revised November 2018. Why don't we have a better list than this? But I can tell you what, for a company that's supposed to have been around for 15 years, they're not on this list. The only one that has first in the name is First Choice International Agency. So remember how they told us they've been in business for 15 years? So according to this government website in Jamaica, we'll have to see if they don't have an updated list because this was November of 2017 for 2018. These are the companies that are approved. And none of these include that name. She did say that they were around for 18 years, right? So that H-2B visa program is the United States of America. So they're not on this 2018 list. Let's dig a little bit deeper and see if we can find a more updated version of this list. So this is the mlss.gov. Hold on now. Let me go to that website. I don't know. MLSS is what agency in Jamaica? Folks, we were supposed to be talking about robberies and stuff this morning, and I'm telling you that one of the reasons, there's big speculation. So this is the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. One of the issues why a lot of people suspect. We've had the last 2 victims been women, another business in Savannah. Over the weekend, they tried to rob, hold on one second now. They tried to rob one of the restaurants here in Savannah. We have footage of that as well. So all right, hold on a second here now. Job recruitment and job opportunities. So they have a number of flyers here from different people. So maybe this is the agency we need to be calling. Contact us. Let's see if they're going to answer the phone. Labor office in Jamaica. Let's see now. 1-876-922-9505. One thing with Jamaica, they have a lot of extensions. It says 9500 through 17. So it's 9500, 9501, all the way up to 17. What time is it in Jamaica? Aren't they're an hour difference from us? I'm trying to remember. Public Assistance Division, Jamaica Central Labor Organization, Work Permits, Fund, Funeral Grant. They say they open at 8:30 in the mornings. Anybody answering? 9,500. Let's try another one. So we gotta get to the bottom of this, honey child. 1-877-922-9505. Let's just try a random number and extensions. Someone says, oh, this is so funny. Ask her, where can I buy a clean police record? 15 years in business. No wonder kids can't find jobs. Hi, Diane. Do you want to be dubbed the sheriff or the marshal of these Cayman Islands? Someone is soon going to let them in Jamaica that we are onto them. Shine a spotlight on these scammers. Make it transparent for those who would fall for it. Yep, we're all paying for them to sit in an air conditioning office all day and take people's money. Cayman's very own Diane Sherlock Powell on the case. Ay, what a mess. Good morning. When she paused, I thought someone was telling her she was on CMR and to hang up. I had so many questions. The more she talked, the more questions I had. Sad is that they're poor, illiterate people who don't know any better. And yes, it's always the poor people who will take advantage of. So nobody in government answers their phone in Jamaica. What the hell? I mean, they worse than Cayman.
Ministry of Labor and Social Security. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, ma'am. How are you?
I'm blessed and highly favored. How about you?
Yes, very much the same. Thank you so much. I'm just doing a little bit of research and I would like some information. I'm trying to find a list. I saw this company advertising that they had jobs available, like J1 visa, and they had jobs available in the Cayman Islands. And they said that I can verify with the Jamaican government that they have the respective license. So I'm trying to find out, who do I go to? I saw that back in 2017, 2018, your ministry printed a list or has a list online of agencies that are approved to do that sort of thing, but I don't see a current one for 2022. Are you aware of where I can find a current list, or who do I verify with? I mean, they have all these bank accounts, so I don't know how legit they are, but I'm trying to get some additional information, please.
23, 22. All right, I'm going to transfer you, okay?
Okay, thanks.
All right.
Employment agencies unit. Let me see now. Employment agencies unit. Monitoring of private employment agencies. Oh.
Employment agencies, good morning.
Yes, good morning. This is Miss Diane Powell. How are you?
I'm doing great, thanks.
I'm trying to get some information on an employment agency. They claim that they've been doing business in Jamaica for 15 years. I just trying to verify if they're legitimate because they want me to send them $1,800 US for my aunt to find a job in hospitality in the Cayman Islands. Now they said they have a business. Sorry.
In the Cayman Islands?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Continue.
Well, the company's in Jamaica. They have Jamaican numbers. And so I have.
What's the name of the company?
Okay, so their website is firstrio.org. And
First Rio?
Yes, sir.
Can you spell the Rio, please?
RIO.
RIO, okay.
They say they just opened an office at 103 Main Street in Ocho Rios, St. Anne, Jamaica.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
So
and you said how much they're charging to do what?
Well, that's the $1 million question. But they claim that they are a licensed overseas placement agency located in Ocho Rios, Jamaica. So I guess the first question is, are they actually licensed? And do you have...
First Rio, yeah, they are known to us, but let me just check if they are still in receipt of their license, because usually the license lasts for a year.
Right.
So let me check.
Yes.
First Rio?
First Rio, yes.
Yeah. So it usually lasts for a year. So I'm going to check to see if they're if the license is still valid. All right.
Okay, because it's a little bit unclear. They said that we would get a welcome package and registration, but it didn't really seem like there was any guarantee of a job. And when I pressed them for information on how this placement worked, I couldn't really. Yeah.
1 minute, because I know they were newly established, right? So I need to check to see if they are actually doing any form of business.
Oh,
so there are ways that we can check to see.
Yes,
if they have been registered.
Yeah, they told us they've been around for 15 years. So they're not around for 15 years.
No. First Rio, no.
Okay.
You're fine. Let me just check, please.
All right, no problem.
First Rio.
Already the lie is starting to add up.
June. All right. We need to find the file to see if anybody did any site. All right, 1 minute.
Okay.
So I'm going to just check this.
No
I'm going to check to see if anybody went there to visit recently, and just to see what she's doing, because there should be information on her operation in terms of placement overseas, like registration and placement overseas. So let me see if.
Oh, okay. Because you guys keep all of that information then.
Yes, we do quarterly inspections. Yeah, at least 3 times for the year for each agency.
Okay.
At least up to 3 times. Yeah. So it's quarterly.
That's good. Very good to hear.
So we're in our 3rd quarter now.
Right.
All right, let me just check, please.
Okay, sure. Thank you so much. Jamaica has the same time. Yes. Thank you very much. Private the call, says Dave. Oh, that was a good idea. I never did do that. Oh, wow. Denny says Lady D's daily stress relief segment. Hold on. Let me mute them so they can't hear me while I read your comments. Newly 15 years. Yes, Damien, you see where the story starts to fall apart already? Alejandro says they're working a favors together. First red flag, says Darlene. Yes. You can't just believe people when they tell you something. Yes, little brat, newly established, but they've been around for 15 years, according to them. Yes, this one is very helpful. Lavana, you're right about that. Miss Olive says there's like 10 red flags already. Stacy says, I wish my son could call you because he just came back from his overseas J1 program and he went to UE. Which company did he get it through, though? Because obviously not all companies are the same. Dawn says, Sandy, we can't love you more. We can't love you no more. Damien says he has no training in phone muting. He needs to stop blowing his own horn. No, man, leave the man alone. At least we're getting somewhere. He answered the phone. Listen, the standard for world-class civil servants is quite low. You answer the phone. We're so happy to hear you answer the phone that we get excited. And he is trying to get us some information. Cameron says, time to call Chuck. No, we're not gone with you. We're not done with you yet. Don't worry. Chuck is already informed that we need some overtime this morning, honey. Chill. Overtime on the radio. Whew, what a heat this morning. Maybe their offices are open at 10 a.m. Hello? Hello? Okay, we'll mute that again. Yes, child, he is helping. What more can we ask for? I tell you. But yeah, this whole scamming thing is heavy. And I suspect, right? Somebody was telling me over the weekend. I'll listen to this theory.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Hi.
Yes, all right. So I checked her file and she's doing business.
She's doing business.
But currently she doesn't have the license. Her documents are here for renewal.
Okay, so how long has she actually been in business for?
Let me just check.
Okay.
Let me just check that for you.
All right, dear. Thanks. Child, is more than you get from Cayman. Because they tell you, we can't tell you that. All approved agencies are listed in the MLS website. Registration fees charged by employment agencies may not exceed 2,500 Jamaican dollars for a 12-month period. Placement fees charged by overseas employment agencies may not exceed 45,000. Oh, they have set fees and stuff. That's interesting. But processing time of an application, a maximum of 30 days. A security bond of 500,000 Jamaican must be furnished. This is what the companies have to. But this is strange because they're asking for more money than that. May not exceed 45,000 Jamaican dollars. How much is that again? 45,000. That is, so what's she charging all that money for? United States dollars. That's $293. So why am I paying $1,800? Something fishy. Something is fishy. So they do have a business license, but you see how she was so conniving with, oh, we've been around for 15 years, but our business license is in renewal.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Right. So the first license was issued to her in June 2021.
Oh, so this is a very new company.
Right.
Not
but
around
she's
for 15 years.
doing business. No, not at all. And is she in school?
Well, I called the number and they told me that she would be eligible up to age 60 to go and work in the Cayman Islands. That was like the cutoff age.
Oh, because I don't think we have a contract for her. Re any other countries other than the J1 in the US. That the J1 is for students, right? For students. I mean, if you are the holder of a overseas license, it allows you to do any type of categories. The J1, H2B, and are in other countries like the UK and Canada and all of that. It allows you for that because you have an overseas license. But currently, I've not seen anything where she's doing anything for adults.
Because what happened is I
I'm
came
seeing
across
for
a
J1.
flyer, right? And the flyer said 5,000 Jamaican dollars for it says register now with 5,000 Jamaican dollars. And
the thing is, registration for any category is 2,500, no more than that. 2,500.
Well, you see,
that's stipulated by law.
I see where I think they're trying to be compliant because it says the following: registration package includes registration fee 2,500 and then an admin fee of another 2,500. But then up at the top, it says register now with 5,000 Jamaican dollars. But
right,
then,
and this is the issue. But because all right, then she's fine based on what you just read to me. But we always encourage our agencies to always separate those. If you have any other thing to do, do not put it in the registration fee. The registration should be separated at all times. So if you have like orientation fee, job fair fees, do not put it with the registration.
separate
so
it so people will see.
But I understand.
Because I do see on your website you have some very strict requirements that says registration fee charged by employment agencies must not exceed 2,500 Jamaican dollars for a 12-month period. And then you said placement fee can't exceed 45,000. So what do you think? And that's about $200 and change US, right? Almost rounded up to $300. So what do you think she's asking 1,800 US for? What would that be?
So all right. So the thing is, so the 1,800 US, so the 45,000 portion would be in there. So for record keeping, we'd have to separate the 2,500 and the 45,000. So the overall fee for the program is 1,800. So the overseas sponsor, because they have to send their portion, you understand, to the overseas sponsor. You understand? So the overseas sponsor might charge level 1,000, 1,200 or whatever it may be.
When they apply with you, do they tell you who their overseas sponsors are? Do they provide that information to the Jamaican government?
Yes, if you check that same criteria that you're looking at, you will see that they have to provide us with information on the overseas partner. And these partners, they are used to the U.S. Labor Department of State website.
So if she has an overseas partner in the Cayman Islands now, where would we be able to find
she would have to send us that information to say that she's in contract with this company.
And would we be able to find that? Is that a matter of, like, could I just verify who that is just to make sure this is not any kind of a scamming situation?
No, because once they submit that to us, we will say yes. We will try to contact the persons by email or by direct call. We do that. So we usually make our checks first.
And would you be able to tell me then who that is for the Cayman Islands? Because there's a lot of people here who are, getting into situations.
One minute. Let me just check our new documents because they were submitted to us recently. So let me just check on those to see if there's any contract from any companies from over.
And I don't see them. This one says agencies approved to provide jobs locally. Oh, I think I need another one on your website. That's locally. I'm just looking to see the list then for this Rio. But okay, you see if you can find that information for me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
1 minute, please.
Okay, dear, no problem. This man is so helpful. He should get Jamaica's what do you call it? Civil Servant of the Year award. Very helpful. Charlene says, please confirm if there's any Cayman license being seen in their records. Yes, that's what we're doing now, child. How come this sounds so sketchy, Alejandro? Because it is sketchy. So she has a license and but again, nowhere near the 15 years that she claims that she was in business. We should find out who the licensee holder is. Oh yes, that's going to be the next question. Yeah, hold on now. One step at a time. I'm looking on this. I'm still looking on this website and I still don't see no First Rio. I'm still looking for them. I don't see them on here. Rio. First Rio. I don't see her in the current list, which is interesting. So they have an agency list. I finally found the one for 2022. Agencies approved to place persons in jobs overseas, and I don't see this company listed. So who on earth is this company? What a scammeration. Yes, Raj, I agree with that. Listen to me, please stop it. My blood pressure is high. I can't laugh no more. Take an extra blood pressure tablet, Jill. Cameron says, I need a sponsor for my 2 lower ribs because they're cracking up right now. Miss Charlene says, you're doing great as usual, my dear. Keep probing. We have a lot of questions.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, all right. So, yes, I'm seeing something for Cayman, for the Cayman Islands. All right, so I'm looking at her fees and all of that. But what I would encourage you to do is to give us a call back. Tell your aunt to hold off first. Let me see, 138, 50% due immediately, or most 7 days after registration. All right, tell her to hold off a little bit because what I will have to do is to request a contract from her between First Rio and the company over. Because what I'm seeing now is some information on the Cayman employment program. So she's just giving you all that information about positions available and all of that, fees and all of that. But
no
we
details.
but we want to see something from these companies over in the Cayman Island that she plans to engage.
There's a relationship.
Yes. Right. So we would need the contract, not just flyers looking in with information.
Yes, because it looks very like, okay, it's the marketing looks okay, but when you start to ask questions, that's where I started to have some concerns. And I still don't see her on the list of agencies approved to place jobs. It says it was revised 2022.
That's what I just said to you, that it was her license was expired in June 2022.
So she made her license expired and now she's put it back in to renew it? So
yeah, usually the license
expire. You don't put it in before it expires?
Yes, so they can even put it in before it expires, and then they still don't get the renewal as soon as possible because it has to go through
all of this due diligence.
4 or 5 weeks process. So when it comes to our department, it goes through several other persons, and the final person is the permanent secretary. So it go to different levels first.
So their existing license, if they allowed it to expire, they're still able to continue doing business, because obviously What you're saying
Yeah,
to me is
because
she doesn't have a current license right now, but she's still doing business.
right, but remember, she is a businesswoman. Remember, she's operating a company.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
The thing is, even though it is expired, the good thing about it is that she has submitted her documents to us. If it was a situation where the documents weren't here, you understand, it would cause for some alarm. You understand, because she would be now operating in breach
Without
of our in breach of our regulations. You understand?
Yes,
so
sir.
so not because the license expires, somebody's going to close their business. They're not
Yes.
going to just do that because it's a business they're still operating. You get what I'm saying? But the important thing is that these persons usually submit their application. So sometimes it comes in before the license is expired, but because of probably our permanent secretary, which is the licensing officer, she might not be on the island. Probably the minister of labor who the license should go through first to get a signature before it go to the permanent secretary. What if he's not on the island for a couple of days? Remember, these persons tend to be, in and out of the island. You get what I'm saying? So many things can cause a license to not be ready.
Okay.
You understand? As soon as possible. You understand? So as I'm saying to you, this is the new season. This is a new season. So for the J1 program and for all programs, right? So she knows that in order for her to get interviewed dates for her applicants and stuff like that, she must be in receipt of the license, because the U.S. Embassy usually gets a copy of our updated list every month.
Yes,
Every
I was
month.
just
So
thinking that June to November now, June, July, August, September, October. That's like 4 months. That seems to be quite a long time. But I see what you're saying. I get your point. So you're suggesting then a call back?
All right, just call back. I don't know how soon, but I could ask my supervisor to speak to her, right? Because I would want to see the contracts, at least 2 contracts from these hotels that she's advertising on, right? At least 2 contracts. And then, I would ask her to just do that. So just tell your aunt to just hold off a bit with doing business with her, really, Cayman Island. But I know that she does the J1 program, that's for university and college students. And that's what she's doing currently now.
Right.
So she's just over to this new venture. So I would just ask her to just hold off a bit until they get back some information from the ministry. But I'm going to ask my supervisor to request 2 contracts, really, these Cayman Island companies.
And can I get your name? You've been so incredibly helpful this morning.
It's Malcolm Warren.
Malcolm Warren. And when I call back Mr. Malcolm, can I ask for you?
Yes, certainly.
All right. Yes, because you've
And if I'm not here, feel free to speak to any one of our officers.
Okay. All right. Well, I lucked out this morning because you answered the phone, and I must say you've been very, very helpful. So I'll be.
Let me give you some straight lines for my department.
That would be great. Thank you so much.
1 minute. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. The numbers are 876 676 5806.
Okay. That will bring me directly to you, possibly?
Right.
Okay. All right. No
So
problem.
the other number is 876 676 5748.
Okay. All right. Maybe I'll try back on Friday then. I'll give you a couple days to see if you can find out anything, and I'll touch bases with you on Friday and see if we have any updates.
Okay, good.
You think that might be enough time, or should I make it next week?
You can call about.
You're sounding a little bit muffled there, Mr. Malcolm.
Yeah, I said you can call back on Friday.
Okay.
To get some update.
All right. I appreciate it.
Hopefully she will respond.
Yes, because I mean, when I called the number, they said they have RN, they have housekeeping and hotel jobs, they have teacher jobs. Sounds like they have quite a bit available. So, all right, I will call you on Friday, Mr. Malcolm.
Okay, all right then.
All right,
have a
thank
great
you.
day.
You too. Bye-bye. All right. Well, look at that. A civil servant that is so incredibly helpful. One immigration system in Cayman is so much nonsense. Just imagine if we had more. Live says this is a serious matter. The core of why Caymanians can't get jobs, if legit. Who are these Caymanian sponsors? We need their names. Well, the thing about it, Live, is however this works, they still have to go through our work permit system. So you will always have agencies out there, whether, like we said, we still haven't determined if this one is legit for Cayman, because number one, we've already caught them in a major lie, which is that they've been operating for 15 years. They've not been operating for 15 years. Right? Who's this in the UK that keeps calling me? Hello, good morning. Hi, morning.
Who am I speaking to?
This is Sandra. You trying to get on the program?
Yes, I want to get, because I post something there, she read it wrong, and I need to get her straight.
Oh, okay. Who is this?
This Lucille, I'm a Caymanian, but I'm up here in London.
Oh, hi, Miss Lucille.
Who this is?
This is Sandra, aka Diane Powell.
Maybe it's the wrong Sandra. I want to get on tomorrow.
This is Mall Road, my dear child. Go on. This is Lucille Forbes?
Yeah. What I want to tell her, she read my post wrong.
Oh, okay.
I want to let her know that I'm coming down. So I need my granddaughter from Jamaica to come. I applied for a visa for her to come to spend 1 month with me.
Oh.
And my left told I cannot use it. And the only thing left for immigration form to ask for is our knickers. I'm sorry to say it that way, but I'm angry.
Oh.
And I listened to Sandra with all these jobs that they have there this morning. So I'm telling her to leave one of the nursing jobs for me, because I cannot drive taxi anymore. I'm 27, I'm not working.
Yes.
My granddaughter went to come to the Cayman Islands. She don't need anywhere to live. I have place for her to live. I work hard in the Cayman Islands 3/4 of my life, and I make good use of it.
Okay.
You understand?
I see what you're
she
saying
don't even need money to buy food. She don't need nothing. She coming to stay there with me for 1 month.
Okay, I see. Well, yes,
the only thing immigration had to ask for is for her to bring her knickers. And everyone else getting work permit, getting visa, getting everything. You understand? And I live Cayman 3/4 of my life. I'm up here because of reason. And I'm coming down, and I want a visa for 1 month for my granddaughter to come and stay with me, because I can't use my left one. I'm supposed to do a shoulder replacement. So I can't really move my left one that great. But I post something to Sandra, but she reading it wrong. She said, you coming home and you need a job? I'm 77 years old. I can't even walk good much as to work.
Okay, I got you now. No problem. Yes, this is Sandra. I understand what you're saying now. It was just not too clear in the message. Okay, not a problem, my dear. Very good.
Okay, tell her I'll see you all safe soon.
Okay, dear.
Okay, thank you.
All righty, bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, what a conundrum. All right, folks, I need to get to court. Don, we got his name. Lavana says, well, I know he did his job this morning and very well. Good for you, young man. Yes, sir. He's very helpful. Kudos to Malcolm. Mr. Malcolm, you can take the rest of the day off, says Lavana. He earned his keep. But listen, the thing about it is, I don't think, even if this woman has a business license, the biggest lie, why would you tell someone that you've been operating for 15 years? The reason why you tell people the length of time that you've been operating is to say, oh, we've been doing this a really long time. We've got lots of placements. We've got lots of customers. Trust us. But if you've not been operating for 14 or 15 years, you don't tell people that. So that is a major red flag. The man said she just got her license in June of 2021. So do we even know how many placements the woman has? And then he don't know nothing about in her application about, a Cayman sponsor. So this sounds very, very fishy, folks. We will continue to do some digging. We will call him. Y'all remind me now on Friday to give good old Malcolm a call. And, we need to keep digging into this situation. So Jonathan's asking if you have a classified section on your page. You know what is so interesting, Jonathan? I was actually we'll talk about this tomorrow because I actually want to get to court. There's something happening at court this morning that I need to watch. I just saw it on the cause list. But you know what is so funny, Jonathan, is we were actually thinking of doing an entire classified site, not just like a section on the CMR page. And I've kind of put that on hold because the regular CMR takes up a lot of my time. But there is a possibility that might happen in the future. So stay tuned. Chad Powell, I'm trying to actually get him on the show. So let's see if we can arrange that for one day this week. Leave that with me, Janetta. Thanks for the reminder. But yes, I do want to not just talk about him. I want to speak with him. All right. Let's add for Devil's Advocate. She was under another job license. We will inquire, but it's very interesting. I think this is a good idea because it makes me think that we could learn a thing or two from Jamaica in the sense that job placement agencies have very strict requirements that they have to follow. Hear me now. And you can't charge more than this. They even have the fee structure on their website. I'm looking at it. Why is it that we here in the Cayman Islands is not doing something like that? You keep better control because there's a lot of so-called job placement agencies taking advantage of people in this country, the ones that are here. They've taken advantage of the Filipinos. Remember, we've had them before complaining. People get their money, Caymanians, and don't pay them back and claim that they were going to give them jobs. It's not a bad idea sometimes to have specific industries being better regulated so that you don't take advantage of people. Food for thought. Anybody over at DCI, you paying attention? One final call for the day. Good morning, caller, and welcome to the program.
Good morning.
How are you, darling?
Very well. Can't get away from you. I need to go feed my Listen to me. By something like incompetence, corruption, or how about basic, I don't give a damn. I got my paycheck coming on the 24th. It's a big one. All them things, because, this is not rocket science that you're doing this morning. This is not rocket science on the forums this morning. This is business. As the one say, you went to a good American school, age 14 in the classroom. You had to be doing that in theory. This is 14-year-old, and before that, you probably grab it by 13. This is 14-year-old theory. How about, I don't care. I get my cut, baby. I don't care. We got to call it what it is. Don't make all tonight stupid because the politicians don't seem to have a grip. They're not stupid people. They're educated, they're experienced, and they took an oath. They're not stupid. But yeah, thank you. Have a nice day.
All right, my dear. Thanks very much. So yes, it begs some questions. Moya says, my question is, why would you pay someone to help you get a job in another country when most companies has their positions online? That's because, Moya, a lot of people don't know. You have to remember your audience, right? If people don't know that these positions are online or they don't even have access to a computer, listen, if you're from the country, somewhere in St. Mary, you might not have access to a computer. You might have a smartphone that's smarter than you. You know what I'm saying? People have limitations when they're abroad, and they want to be able to take someone who claims that they can definitely get them a job, do all the paperwork for them, trust them to do all of that logistics. They don't have to fill out the work permit. They don't have to do nothing. And that's what these agencies are promising people. We do it all for you for a fee. So you got a processing fee, you got an application fee, you got a this, you got a that, you got a placement fee. We will find you a job. If they're legit, there's nothing wrong with this business model, but we have found time and time again that a lot of them are not legitimate. And so asking me to send $1,800 US, that's a lot of money. For what? At no point in time did she say that they would find me a job. It sounds like that called person, she's just an operator, but she does not even understand how the work permit system works in the Cayman Islands. What am I paying $1,800 for? I wish I had $1,800 to send them so we could see this process all the way through, but I'm not that fool. And I got that money to waste. That's mortgage money, honey chill. Alejandro says, you got a point on Cayman Compass. Can rely on. So listen, we're going to be doing some more promotions of this stuff. Sorry, I need a little drink of water. But I got to get going. Two quick things. You can do notices and advertisements on CMR. I'm trying to figure out how to do it because there's a couple ways that we can do it. You know, we have our community page now set up. Please go like the community page. Somebody found a dog yesterday. We posted it up. They didn't know about the community page, so the dog got away. Turns out the Humane Society was looking for the dog. CMR Cayman, at CMR Cayman, we only have a Facebook page. Child, I can't manage another social media account, so I'm not going to do an Instagram page for it. But please go and like the Facebook page and follow it. If you lose a phone, money, anything, that's where it's going to go. Because the main CMR page was getting too cluttered with everybody losing puss, cat, dog, husband, everything in between. We have a community page now for those types of announcements. If you're a nonprofit organization, you can send us your nonprofit things. We have a school raffle that's coming up here shortly. That is posted on that page. Support those things, Rotary, whatever. We'll post those things there for you. Outside of that, if you are looking to advertise, and I made this point on Friday about government job ads in particular, you're advertising in the Compass and nobody not reading the Compass. It's as simple as that. Nobody's paying for it online. I wish they show us proof of the 2,000 people they have registered. Nobody picks up the paid newspaper anymore. So why are you advertising jobs on a platform that nobody sees the jobs? It seems like you actually don't want people to apply for the job, if you ask me, or government just has so much money to waste that one agency can spend over $100,000 with a Compass and it's no big deal. It's ridiculous when you think about value for money. We have the option. You want to put it on the website? You want to put it on social media? We can post the jobs for you. And not only can we post the jobs, but then we can show you how many people that specific post has reached. So you have a definitive way to see your return on your investment. It's as simple as that. This is business, folks. Business 101. Yeah. So if you have a job, we're going to be posting one. I'm just waiting. Actually, we have someone who's looking for senior bookkeeper, right? We have design teams here at CMR. This is a shameless plug, but y'all pay attention. Listen, we actually have design teams that will design your job advert for you. We send you the proof. You approve it. And then we can post it up. We will help you find qualified Caymanians by, hello, we have over a reach of 100. What are we at now? 74,000 plus 42,000 something. What is that? That's over 100,000 people. And a post has the potential to reach one singular post, thousands and thousands of people. The bottom line is the more people that see that you're looking for someone, the more qualified people that you will attract in any event. So advertising your vacancies with CMR makes good logical sense if you are truly looking for candidates. Now, I know some of y'all be advertising and you don't really want to hire anybody, or you already have someone for the job, which on tomorrow's program, I want to thank one of our listeners this morning for sending us a job advert. We're going to have a look at this. This one is looking for 52 years prior experience. And they said, who did they tailor this to? My grandmother? A minimum of 52 years of previous experience in a similar role. Lord Jesus, what is going on here in the Cayman Islands? Who the hell has 52 years of experience? Your grandmother, all right. Application date is October 28th, but they ran the ad in the November the 4th through the 10th newspaper. Well, again, this is the Compass number one. I've seen that. They're just trying to fulfill an immigration requirement, which to the best of my knowledge is no longer required because mandatory registration on the job portal is what is now required. So they don't have to put it in the paper. Somebody must not have told Orchid Development, whoever the hell they are, that they're wasting. And I mean, it's a long ad too. So this is probably at least a $1,200 ad because they want you to know all kind of stuff. Wow. We're going to go through this job tomorrow because this definitely seems a bit tailored and fishy if you ask me, right? So let's go through it. We'll have more time on tomorrow's program, but this really begs a lot of questions. Are you really trying to reach candidates? Because again, if you bury it in the Compass, which nobody's purchasing, who are you trying to reach? Alejandro says, I'm looking for a young Caymanian apprentice who wants to learn painting professionally. There you go. Jonathan, you looking for a job? Then they have an email and website, and the comments are, how do I apply? You already filled for the interview. Listen, a lot of people, unfortunately, can't help themselves too much. I like the ones that don't even bother to give you information on how to apply. Have you seen those in the Compass? It's like, oh, you want me to send it snail mail and a mailbox? Are you kidding me? You guys don't even have an email for applications? They're a hot mess. Raj, I know I'm probably mispronouncing your name, child, but says, keep up the good work. We need more Caymanians like yourself. For me, I believe in speaking for those who can't, although I'm a government employee. Well, we all have to do our part. Alejandro says that for the president position. What president position? So we're gonna dig into this a little bit deeper because any job advert, Damien says maybe it's a typo and it meant 2 or 5 years. Well, it says 52 years. So they would have made more than one mistake. They would have reversed the numbers, and only God knows. They forgot the dash, so it meant 2 to 5, and I don't know. And then of course the application deadline is the 28th of October, and it's now running in a newspaper from November the 4th to the 10th. So did somebody at the Compass forget to pull it? Listen, I have no clue. This one doesn't make any sense to me. We'll reach out to Orchid Development because they're the people who apparently run the brasserie. They run, this is a marketing and public relations manager. And they run the Orchid Development Holdings. That's brasserie, purveyors, juice, caboose, the club, and Orchid Development Properties profiles daily in association with preparing a weekly social media calendar. So anyway, let's go through this job. It seems like they want everything. They got everything listed here. That's kind of ridiculous, but the 52 years experience is definitely a whopper. Say what? All right, good folks. I feel a sneeze coming on. We will look at that tomorrow. So make sure you tune in early. There's something else that we're digging into a little bit for you regarding the LAX flight, Cayman Airways. We're waiting on them to answer a few questions for us as well. And then we'll get on to young Mr. Chad and see if he can come onto program. So maybe they met 25 years. Even so, that's a lot of experience for that job. 25 years of experience? What the hell? Anyway, y'all have a fantastic day. Off to court. A couple things I need to pay attention to. And I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, God's willing. So be safe. And we are trying to, suss out some scammers if we can. Stay tuned for the news. Kevin puts in a lot of work into this news segment, so don't log off. Listen to all the news, and we'll be back tomorrow morning.
I'm Kevin Watler, and this is your CMR Daily Buzz. The Cayman Islands government recently approved duty waivers on several energy-efficient devices and building materials. Once an amendment is made to the Schedule 1 of the Customs and Tariff Act, duty will be set to 0% for spray foam insulation, foam sheets, low E-film for windows, smart home thermostats, and smart home energy monitors. Ministry of Sustainability and Climate Resiliency and Premier Honorable Dwayne Panton said the duty waiver will support ongoing efforts to mitigate the cost of living crisis by making it easier for Cayman Islands residents to install money-saving energy-efficient measures. The number of cruise passengers visiting the Cayman Islands is expected to decline by about 25% over the next 2 years, Minister of Tourism the Honorable Kenneth Bryan said. He said the numbers are expected to drop even further in 2024. The Minister of Tourism said the numbers are expected to decrease as the larger cruise ships will not call on Cayman due to the country's decision to not build a berthing cruise in Grand Cayman. He said he respects the people's decision to not build a pier and to keep the environment green. Therefore, Mr. Bryan said greater emphasis will be placed on stayover tourism. 2 men wearing masks and long-sleeve hooded jackets robbed a grocery store on Hurst Road in Bowden Town shortly after 8:40 Thursday night. Police say one of the men remained outside while the other entered the store with a firearm and demanded cash. Both of them then fled towards the rear of the store with cash and cigarettes. No shots were fired and no one was injured during the robbery. Musicians in the Cayman Islands will now be paid for their recordings being played on at least one radio station. The development comes after years of research and works by 2 local musicians to understand why they were receiving royalties from other jurisdictions around the world where their music was being played except the Cayman Islands. According to a press release, Stuart Wilson and Gene Eric Smith, aka Mr. Notch, began questioning their performing rights societies in an attempt to track down where royalties were ending up and eventually learned that only one radio station in the Cayman Islands paying the blanket license for the use of copyrighted works was Radio Cayman. Now for your CMR weather update, it's brought to you by WG Charters. Sunrise was at 6:29. Scattered clouds with the possibility of an isolated thunderstorm is expected. Now when the temperature is at 85 degrees Fahrenheit and humidity around 74% like the forecast called for, it will feel in the low 90s. Winds northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour and the sun sets at 5:48. At nighttime, the temperature falls to the high 70s. Looking forward, hot days, warm nights with the possibility of brief showers. CMR weather updates are brought to you by WG Charters. They offer private boat trips for a great price, so we encourage you to support them.
Stormwatch 2022 is brought to you by Home Gas, your propane experts before, during, and after the storm.
Hurricane season is not over. Early this morning, the National Hurricane Center began issuing advisories on subtropical storm Nicole. Now, this system will impact the Bahamas and Florida this week. Now for some regional and international news. Jamaica has implemented a 2-week gun amnesty. The announcement in the House of Representatives came as the new law provides for penalties of 15 years to life in prison. Former Grenadian Foreign Affairs Minister Oliver Joseph has admitted that the previous New National Party administration had a policy of accepting cash for diplomatic passports. Joseph confirmed that there was a policy of the former administration led by Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell of appointing diplomatic passport holders as ambassadors at large if there was no representation in the territory or jurisdiction from which the application for citizenship came. However, he said no diplomatic immunity was granted. The U.S. Virgin Islands was voted Porthole Cruise and Travel Magazine's Reader's Choice Award for the Best Caribbean Cruise Destination. The prestigious awards have been given a cruise industry staple since 1998, with voting by thousands of loyal readers. The USVI is one of the largest cruising destinations in the Caribbean. That's it for now on A Daily Buzz. Thank you for joining me. Please stay safe and God bless.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels and visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.